TrashRangersLLC.com to switch your commercial service. That's TrashRangersLLC.com.
Custom Colors of Baton Rouge is Baton Rouge's friendliest body and paint shop and is the area's only certified BMW shop. Billy Rapp and Pete McKnight have been serving Baton Rouge since 1987. Conveniently located in Industrialplex off Siegen and Airline. Custom Colors Body and Paint.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Thursday, August 15th. Today in Baton Rouge, you expect rainy skies with a high of 97. In hour one of today's show, we'll talk the latest with LSU football, and we'll discuss some New Orleans Saints roster news as well. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert. Yeah! Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what up, y'all? What's going on? Welcome in to OTB, Thursday, August 15th, 2024. T-Bob, Jake, Alondra, Henri, and Taylor hanging out with you today. Full house here and Off the Bench. Got a lot to get to today. It's Thursday. Vibes are high. We got another weekend of football coming up. LSU training camp rolling right along. Saints training camp rolling right along as well. Some NFC South news with the Falcons making a big trade. Did they solidify themselves as maybe the favorites in the NFC South? All of this and more we will discuss on today's program. Jake, what's up, dude? Pearl snaps are back. How we feeling today?
Pearly.
Yeah. Feeling pearly, man.
Do
you need pearling? Go to Community Steel. Oh, you said pearly. Never mind.
You can do that, though. No, feeling pearly.
Hell yeah.
Feeling pearly.
If you need pearling, though, go to Community.
Did you take a bite out of your paper?
I don't know. I guess the bottom of my coffee cup was wet. Look how comedically perfect that little chunk that it took out of the paper was.
Yeah.
We have Brian Kelly's sound as he met with the media yesterday. And we'll look to the past to answer a question about whether or not you should give up on Trevor Penning just yet. Because there are a couple of examples that would speak to both sides of the coin. One hand, yes, maybe no. Though, Alondra, what's up? How we doing today? Doing well?
Yeah, doing pearly.
Hell yeah. What about you, Taylor?
There we go.
I got a little bit of a complaint this morning, guys.
Oh,
I hate to do it.
I thought we were going to be hyped because he's got the nos.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought you were
Taylor's
going
back on the drugs, guys.
Yeah, he couldn't quit him.
Okay, have y'all seen the
go.
schedule for October 12th, college football, right?
Yeah.
You got
it's incredible.
You got Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, Penn State, USC, Florida, Tennessee. It's awesome. Well, the knot.com, which is like a wedding website where you can like register and stuff, says that Saturday, October
K-N-O-T.
Yes, K-N-O-T. They say that October 12th is one of the 5 most popular wedding dates of 2024. And I got a big issue with this because you got 253 days that do not fall on one of the 12 days of the regular season of college football, and you decided to schedule it on October 12th. I wish one of my friends or family members would invite me to a wedding on October 12th so I could explain to them why I'm not going. This is ridiculous.
So I've
How
seen
do you
this.
kill the vibe?
I've seen this making the rounds a bit. Okay, I got a couple of
I was
notes.
going to save it for big deal or no big deal.
I've got a couple of notes. First off, 253 is way off. I think you were looking for 353.
Yeah, 353.
But honestly, not really, right? Nobody gets married on a Wednesday or a Monday or a Tuesday.
Yeah,
so let's be
that's
more
fair.
honest about the conversation. Let's say there's 53 Saturdays, minus 12, 41.
Yes,
you have 41 other
Saturdays.
Saturdays. Okay, but let's say you live in the South. Okay, you're not going to get married in June or July. So let's go ahead and take out another 8. What are we down to now? 33. Look, you have choices. It's not 362. You have choices, certainly. But October's a great time to get married.
Great time.
Fall's in the air. Cool, crisp. Maybe leaves changing color depending on where you live. Everybody can wear suits and not feel uncomfortable. Like it's when you generally get married. That said, if you do live in a college football crazy part of the country, you just have to know what you're getting into. If that's what you choose to go through with. I know some of this at least spawned from, I believe, the Macro Dosing podcast with PFT as his producer, Big T, said if his own sister were getting married on that day that he would not go. Would you skip your own sibling's wedding if they were getting married this October 12th?
Pretty bad sibling.
My brother or my sister?
So interestingly, he said he felt like he'd have to go to his brother's, but could skip his
Oh,
sister's.
I would have thought the opposite.
Feel
Complete
the
opposite.
Yeah. So you would skip your brother's, Taylor?
Yeah.
You would skip your brother's, Taylor?
Yeah, he wouldn't care. He would understand. He would be like, you know what? It is me and my bride-to-be's fault for scheduling it on October 12th. I'd be like, look, I'm glad you understand.
You plan these things a year in advance. I don't think you're looking at the college football schedule a year in advance.
So it's so funny. I proposed to Victoria in February knowing there's no way we have a 6-month engagement. That's not enough time. She's not going to want to wait a year and a half. We're going to have a spring wedding somewhere.
Yeah.
I planned that out.
No,
you can too.
When'd you get married, T?
June.
I was July.
I got married in summer.
I was March.
Yeah,
I had
June
to.
29th.
I mean, we were starting training camp.
Yeah,
So-
when Jacob was still at LSU, it's not an NFL training camp.
Yeah.
I got married June 29th, and it was fine. I don't mind
That
a
was
summer
cold.
wedding. I just give myself over to the sweat, and I just turn that thing into a wet T-shirt contest.
Yeah, I say it all the time. Like, if I go in knowing that I'm going to sweat, I'm okay to sweat.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm trying
that's
not
fair.
to sweat and I'm sweating, that's when I get mad. But if I'm going to somewhere where I'm like, it's inevitable, I really don't mind it.
That is fair. So look, if I'm being 100% honest, there's absolutely no way I would skip my sibling's wedding. That said, I would be very distracted and or annoyed because at the age that I'm at in life now, the weddings have dwindled up. You reach that point in your mid to late 20s, whenever it is, where it feels like you're going to a wedding every weekend, whatever disposable income you have, you're like, oh my God, dude, we're spending on more plane tickets. You got to spend it on more like suits or something like that. You're like, I don't want to go. And like you eventually realize, I don't want to go anymore. But cherish those times, guys.
Yeah, they'll be gone one day.
Yeah. And then you get one a year.
Yep.
One every 2 years. And that's why a wedding on October 12th would be so disappointing because I love weddings. I have the most fun ever at weddings. It's like the holidays or Christmas. Everybody's in a great mood. There's just a general ambiance of love floating through the air. Everybody's dressed nice. You see people you haven't seen in a long time, and the conversation isn't awkward because you're excited and you're happy to be there, and everybody is. And you drink and you dance and you make promises about how, we got to, talk all the time again, or we got to hang out sometime, or we got to do this or that. And yeah, those promises are made with the best of intentions.
Yeah, but if they really know T-Bob, they know it's all just lip service.
It's everybody. It's not just me.
Yeah, but really.
No. I'm not shouldering this burden alone.
Really you.
All wedding plans are made with love and good intentions, but no actual follow through. Which is fine, because that's the point. We are celebrating the best of human relationships that night, right? Marriage won't be easy the whole time. Like, there will be ups and downs, and there might be some adverse times, but not wedding night. Not wedding night. So I love weddings, but I love college football, so that would suck.
No, I get it. Look, it is your special day. My thing is, the worst thing is inviting a lot of people to something and having no one show up. While it's your special day, I do feel like you have to make it convenient on your guest as well, and I just think that's inconvenient.
It's not ideal.
To not be able to watch a football game when
it's
it's like
a lot of football games.
It's not my wedding.
It's a lot of football games.
I thought we were just talking about like just any.
No.
Like I get October 12th, whatever, but like
I think he's
the
talking
argument
about specifically
online
that day. Yeah.
Specifically
is
that
like-
day, but honestly, like if you're scheduling it during an LSU game, any LSU game, chances of me showing up are very low.
Well, I mean, if LSU's playing directional school U,
yeah, who cares?
I think it's a big difference than playing Ole Miss.
There's a big difference between LSU and Ole Miss or LSU and South Alabama this fall. Like there's a difference.
One thing that does remain true, even if you take away, like I said, it's not 353 or whatever. Even if you take away all the other days, you still only get the 12 days. You still only get the 12 games, right? So they are so precious. You already waste 2 to 3 on directional school U, which is lame. And so really you have 9 days that you're really living and loving and caring about and that keep you going through the year and give meaning to your life. It hurts to lose one of those 9s very, very deeply. It's why football is so great. It's forced scarcity. It's the fact that even as a player, you do work basically 365 days a year, and you're working for just the 12 days of payoff because that's the only time that football is fun, is in the game when you exert physical dominance over an opponent and you win, when you score a touchdown in front of the student section and you feel like your body has transcended to a higher plane. So, yes, those days are precious, to be fair. They are very precious, and ideally, just around these parts, look, we college football crazy, y'all. Just be careful. Like, I agree. If it ends up bad luck, it happens. Everybody's going to suck it up. I'm going to go to the wedding. We're going to deal with it. But Taylor's point is not completely, let's not let it fall completely on deaf ears in terms of being considerate of your guests, the portion of the country you live in, and how crazy they may be about college football.
I'm sitting here thinking when you said that, like most of my touchdowns, I think, were actually in the south end zone. Like I had some in the student section in the north end zone.
Yeah.
But I think most of mine were in the south end zone, oddly enough. And I think like most memorable ones were in the south end zone.
Because your Florida one was the 88-yarder against Tech was for sure.
Arkansas, that crazy game, my last game in Tiger Stadium, I scored a big one in that end zone. One against Alabama in 2006. It was personally, it was big because one of my best friends played for Alabama, and we went to high school together. And there were some coaches and family from my high school that had Alabama gear on in Tiger Stadium, and I scored like right in front of where they were sitting.
You should make it.
So I let them know exactly how I felt about it as well too. So I'm trying to think though, man, I don't have any big ones in the north end zone. I had one that's called back against Arkansas that year because Early didn't get set. He was late getting set.
Yeah, that was a game. All right, well, so okay, but hold on, real quick. Give me to put a bow on this conversation. Give me the games on October 12th, just so we can really start to edge ourselves here a bit for college football.
So you got LSU versus Ole Miss.
Oh yeah.
Ohio State, Oregon.
And wait, real quick. By the way, LSU Ole Miss, if you beat USC, that will be most likely an undefeated top 10 matchup.
Yeah, and that's a 7:00 start.
Okay.
It's going to be that night game.
It's confirmed.
It says right here.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. Right? I thought it would be. All right.
Ohio State, Oregon.
Oh, in Autzen Stadium?
Yep.
To decide the Big Ten, most likely.
Red River rivalry.
Top 5 teams doing battle.
You got the Red River rivalry, Texas, Oklahoma.
Oh, my God. Oklahoma-Texas rematch?
Depending on how good they are.
Gabriel?
Penn State, USC.
Yeah.
Florida, Tennessee. I mean, how good's Florida going to be? But that's still a big-time game. It's always competitive.
Florida, Tennessee's like a bit of an hors d'oeuvre on that day, but I'll eat it.
Yeah, chips and salsa to start. Well, actually, it's not as good as chips and salsa.
Actually,
those are
what's
fantastic.
the best wedding hors d'oeuvre?
You got to be careful about breath.
Yeah, I don't eat at weddings.
I don't either.
To be clear, I will eat a couple hors d'oeuvres. I will not sit down and eat a plate of food.
You don't eat at weddings?
You got to be careful, man.
God, I love wedding food.
Okay, well, you don't want to be the guy that grubs. Exactly. You do have to stay light on your feet because they're going to be on the dance floor, but also you're probably going to have a couple cold pops. And if you get a little tipsy and you forget, oh, your breath smells awful, and you're coming up and you're talking to me, It's not great.
Also, one
You
advanced,
watch
gotta
what
be
you
careful.
eat for sure.
You gotta be
one
careful.
advanced wedding technique would be to get really drunk, enjoy the entire reception, and then at the very end of the night, sneak one of the trays of food with you. I've done that a bunch, where you end up taking home a bunch of food and then you drunkenly munch it down. Yeah, Henry, take notes.
Yeah,
Take notes.
take
You're gonna learn.
notes.
We're gonna learn you something today, Bo. I like as far as wedding hors d'oeuvres. If you give me like any little tasty bite of something wrapped in bacon, always plays very well. At Ridley's wedding, they got a bit fancy. They had little banh mi sandwiches, little like banh mi sliders, basically. Yeah, give it to me. Love it. Okay, so Florida, Tennessee, is that the last big one of?
Yeah,
the day
I mean
there?
that's kind of the main one left.
It's a massive day.
And also we don't know like what game's going to pop that is going to be big then, but it's maybe not right now.
It's true.
You know, there's always going to be one of those.
Those few magical Saturdays, they're almost here, my friends. And coming up next, let's talk about your LSU Tigers. As Brian Kelly met with the media yesterday after what was a pretty tough practice, very competitive, a lot of 11-on-11, a longer practice in that heat. LSU trying to learn how to win the close ones. And what's going to be the key to doing so? We'll get to some sound and all of that next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Join the All-Star family. I'm up in there. You should be too. You got great deals that you can take advantage of. You go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. You go look at them right now or go talk to the sales staff at Airline and Goodwood. Let them kind of be your guide. And look, if you're looking to buy new, you know, look at the hybrids, man. They're awesome. You save a ton of money on gas. If you're looking to buy a Toyota certified used vehicle, well, don't worry. You're still going to get excellent Toyota Care warranty. And then if you ever need a body shop or a service center, it doesn't matter if it's Toyota or not, okay? All makes and models welcome. Free professional estimate, excellent lines of communication, a ton of advantages, all to be found at All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
T-Bob's not alone being over there at All-Star Toyota. I also am a part of the team. Love leasing the Highlander that we currently have. They have something for everyone, though. Go check it out online, buying new, leasing, and renting. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. 5-star LSU running back commit Harlem Berry stops by, and we'll get a Saints camp report. Join us Thursday's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. We're going to talk a little LSU practice. Brian Kelly meeting with the media yesterday. Let's get to our story of the day.
It's time to get to work, courtesy of Tiger Labor and Staffing, where they can help you take care of screening, training, payroll, and more. Now, for starters.
All right. Remember, Tiger Labor and Staffing, your turnkey service for any employees that you may need, everything from construction, industrial, to even clerical, okay? And with Tiger Labor and Staffing, they take care of everything. They get you employees that same day. And so if you're looking for work, or if you're looking for some employees to do a job for you, maybe something more extended even, or if you're looking for employment, you want to go to the local guys. You want to go to Tiger Labor and Staffing. Here's a great quote from Brian Kelly, from Bo Davis, that we will use to kick off the conversation here about the LSU pass rush, the key, arguably, to this entire defense getting better. But Gio Paez talked about this when he met with the media. Here's the quote. It's not a sin. It's not a sin to get blocked. It's a sin to stay blocked. Where was this last year? Mason Smith needed to hear this in the way that Gollum needed the ring. Like, my man would have benefited from this massively. It's not a sin to get blocked. It's a sin to stay blocked. Savion Jones was asked about the pass rush and the coaching of Bo Davis and Kevin Peoples and how much different it's been. And here's what he had to say. We've been taught pass rush, but it had never really been broken down to us. Now that we have Bo Davis and Kevin Peoples to help us with the pass rush side, I feel like our knowledge of football, period, is definitely better. So already you can see these guys are kind of out there flailing in the wilderness, only being taught. I mean, look, here's another quote. They're working on more moves. It's not just a bull rush or push pill. It's not just the basic stuff anymore. They're now doing more technique stuff that we've now had to work on, not lunging. Now we have to counter stuff. That was a quote from Emory Jones. So, my reaction to this is twofold. First off, how elementary what was being taught boggles the mind. If we're talking about bull rush and push pull being the extent of it. Emory Jones was talking about Savion Jones, for example, how much harder he is now, and he's got this new club move that's kind of his go-to move, whatever. But secondly, there may be no area on the field that this team could take a bigger jump than in the pass rush because of the technique of Bo Davis, but especially Kevin Peoples. Remember, Kevin Peoples was a semifinalist for the Broyles Award last year. He is viewed as one of the fast risers in this game. And here's what Brian Kelly had to say about Kevin Peoples and the impact that he's having.
He's outstanding at what he does. He's a great technician, great teacher. You know, he has those guys the whole day. As you know, we brought in 2 defensive line coaches for that purpose. To be a really good defense in this league, you got to get to the quarterback. And so, you know, I felt it was important that we brought in somebody that was really good at, you know, teaching pass rush and being specific at that. And Kevin's the best in the business, and it's starting to show itself in the teachings on a day-to-day basis with our ends, and it's starting to show itself.
To be a really good defense in this league, you got to get to the quarterback. We talk about it all the time. Why do defensive end gets paid? Why do wide receivers get paid? Why do offensive tackles get paid? Because these are all positions that most directly affect the queen, the most important position on the field, the quarterback. LSU last year, 7th in the SEC with 31 sacks. If they're going to be that top 40 defense, the quickest way to getting there is by creating havoc, being disruptive, and getting after that QB.
So who's that going to come from is going to be the question. Who's going to be that player? Outside of what we think maybe Harold Perkins can do, we've seen Harold Perkins line up on the edge. We've seen him do different stuff, and he can get after the quarterback. Who can LSU count on, in your opinion, to go get that done? Like we mentioned, Savion Jones.
A lot
That's
of Savion
great.
Jones hype right now.
Right, but you know, looking at his body type and looking at who he is, sure, he can get after the quarterback, but they're also counting on the run game and setting the edge and different things. And so
Braden Swinson was fantastic last year. I was going to say,
can Swinson be the guy that is your go-to pass rusher that's a defensive lineman and not Harold Perkins? Like, can he take that job over playing the jack position, or is it going to be Womack as a true sophomore coming over and kind of living up to what we think he can be? Like, who do you have right now leading this team in sacks, and you can't choose Harold Perkins?
I haven't thought a lot about leading the team in sacks because it just looks like such a rush by committee sort of group, in that maybe the most pure pass rushing physical potential out of that defensive line would be Deshaun Womack. But it's like, I don't, am I going to project for him to lead in sacks when he's a true sophomore? And last year was like a couple flashes. I don't know if I'm there. But what I do see is I've heard a lot of, like we said, we have positive anecdotal evidence on Savion Jones.
Yeah.
We know Braden Swinson was good last year. And if he was good being taught what he was being taught, how good can he be being taught what he was being taught now? Right? I know that, I think back to Damone Clark and him from that inside linebacker position, the sack numbers he put up. And so then if all of a sudden you combine that with Harold Perkins' skill set and the quote with Baker, where he's like, look, Perkins is going to be transcendent. Like, okay, well, I think that he's going to play a massive role. I think I still can't. I'm so confused on the Weeks brothers. I can't remember which is which.
Witt is 40.
Witt is 40.
West is 33.
Not West. Okay, well, Witt's 40. Okay, I think Weeks probably plays a role in there as well.
Well, I asked you that question, T, because when you look at what they were a year ago, Perk did lead the team with 5.5 sacks.
Yeah.
And then next was Mekhi Wingo at 4.5 from the interior, a defensive tackle. Third on the team was Greg Penn at inside linebacker. So 2 of your 3 top sack getters were inside linebackers. Now, we know Perk lined up on the edge some, but it wasn't a ton.
Yeah.
Mason Smith was number 4 at defensive tackle, right? So
you had nothing from the ends then. I mean, you got pressures from Swinson, but I'm surprised
Jordan Jefferson was tied with Mason Smith at defensive tackle. Savion Jones was tied with that same group. And so Savion Jones, 2.5. Braden Swinson, he had 2. Paris Shan had 2. Deshaun Womack had a sack and a half. So you got to go a long way down this list to find an edge rusher. It was defensive tackles and it was middle linebackers that kind of led your team.
Yeah. So again, I think that tells us that with Kevin Peoples now and the upgrade therein, that you should expect a lot more from your edge defenders. I mean, you just heard Brian Kelly there. And actually, I think somebody might have chopped off just the very front of that quote where he was asked about like where this improvement has come from in the pass rush during camp. And he just said like, it's Kevin Peoples. And then he went into the spiel that you heard. But the way in which he said just like, oh, it's Kevin Peoples was very, I would say, very complimentary of the hire that they made over the offseason. Let's talk about yesterday's practice, a stress day in which blows were traded, but the defense continued to handle themselves pretty well. Here's Kelly Wandelander on what the goal of yesterday's practice was.
Today was, trying to really put our guys in stressful situations, both on offense and defense, and, being able to handle those with the right balance of emotional control, execution, smart decisions. But more importantly, we're going to have to win close games. We're going to have to be mentally strong late in games, and we're going to have that kind of mindset that, when things get difficult, we're going to be able to overcome and win, and in particular on the road.
We're going to have to win close games. It's so true, but it's sometimes intimidating to think about because as a fan, you're like, oh man, let's just go play this game. Let's just kick their ass the entire time, roll right along. It'll be great. We won't be stressed at all, right? But that never happens. I remember as a player always thinking about this, Jake, when you sit there before kickoff and you're kind of on the precipice about to jump into the unknown, and okay, the next 4 hours are about to be very intense, and there's going to be ups and downs. There are going to be very low moments in which you feel like you got rocked by a haymaker, and you're going to have doubt that wants to creep in about are we going to, and you just have to be ready to steel yourself and guard against that. And I just like hearing LSU because so much, we can fall into the trap as players or coaches of just being like, we're going to kick this guy's ass. I kind of like engaging with the reality of no. Like these are going to be knockdown, drag out battles. And ultimately, what you do, if you go, the difference between 10-2 and 9-3 is what you do in those high leverage moments. And LSU is cognizant of it and preparing for the high leverage moments.
Very few times are there going to be games where it's easy and it feels like it all comes together.
Yeah.
We always talk about 2007 Virginia Tech. That one, everything came together. That game felt easy. That game was dominated from pre-game warm-ups where they didn't finish the warm-up until the very end of the fourth quarter. Like, those don't happen very often. No. More times than not in the SEC, it's going to be the games like Florida that year where you're down 2 scores and you can't panic and you got to go find a way.
Yeah.
It's games like that typically in the SEC. Now, you don't always have to be down, but it's a little bit of a back and forth Alabama game that year, right? You go through those kind of games in a year where you want to get to your ultimate goal, which is play for national championship. The Virginia Tech game's really like the only one that I can think of like a big marquee matchup where it was just easy. The rest of them, even if you won by 2-3 touchdowns, it still had some difficulties in it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It just does not happen for it to be easy.
No, even, to pull from my own experience, the Oregon game, the final score was easy, and I think it was probably at the end of the third or beginning of the fourth when we scored, and I just remember it was like a weight had been lifted off our shoulders because it was like, okay, we did it. This thing that we've been – it's the same thing I'm sure this LSU team's feeling right now, an entire offseason of knowing who you're opening with, right, of being yelled at. They're going to go fast. They're strong. They're good. Same thing they're hearing about the USC Trojans. It's such a test right out the gate, and the lifting of the burden when you knew you had won the game was one of my best feelings I ever had as a player. But even that didn't come again till like the fourth quarter. So these things tend to be very close run affairs. And what do you do when it gets tough and it gets close? That's what's going to decide. As far as the defense goes, the defense is getting better, but they're still working on the finer details.
I think it's much more about the finer details. Blake brings a lot of energy and enthusiasm to the group, but having said that, we're still work in progress when it comes to the finer details. And I think Blake would tell you if he was standing here right now, it's about getting lined up. It's about the fundamentals. It's about making sure that we're communicating effectively. And, we don't want to mistake activity for achievement. We really have to get that from our group. And so we're demanding the right things. We're asking for the right things from our players. We're certainly getting upticks in performances from players across the board. But as a unit, 11 together, that's the next thing that we've got to see an improvement in.
So, as we've said, a constant theme talking to defensive players has been about how different the vibes are. And Kelly basically said, yeah, the vibes are great. Players love to play for it. But now we actually have to do the playing, right? Don't mistake activity for achievement. Everybody in the workplace probably knows someone who does this, right? They're always working. Always working. But what are you actually doing? What do you actually do? Are you just up here?
Yeah.
Or are you just messing around? Are you just... Like, are you actually working, right? And that's what this LSU defense is now has to do. Just because you're out here practicing, you got to practice right. Do not mistake activity for achievement.
There is a fine balance of that. Like, I like the active nature of this LSU defense. I love seeing the clips of everybody bouncing around, jumping around, celebrating with each other. And there is a fine balance of making sure you have that, but also your alignment, your assignment, everything, right? Because last year, you didn't see either one of those things. You saw a stale defense. You saw a defense that was flat-footed at best, more on their heels, and they messed up assignments and had MAs, right? So there's a fine balance of what you're getting from the clips that we see from the defense and the excitement that we see, finally some life back into the LSU defense, and Blake Baker's doing a fantastic job with that. And now you have to bottle that excitement at times to make sure that you line up right. Attention to detail. If the coverage is the coverage, we all play the coverage, right? If there's a blitz, then you got to know, okay, he's going here, I got to go there, whatever, all the defense football, right? If I'm supposed to be a 3, I can't be a 2-eye. If I'm supposed to be a 0, I can't be a 1-shade. All of those minor details, you have to, in a moment, kind of collect yourself before the snap and say, okay, you got the excitement part of it, but the other part has to happen before the ball snapped. Now, last year, you didn't have either one. It feels like they have the active nature and the bouncing around and jumping around, and you can tell BK thinks they're close to having the other part.
Yeah, that's just, that's where you got to shift your focus now. That's where you got to shift your focus now to tighten up for that USC game. All right, when we get back, we still got more BK sound. Keep it locked right here at OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go Tommies.com. You probably guessed it's spelled Geaux because of course it is, guys. Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding was founded by Tommy himself, a former member of that golden band from Tigerland, okay? How do you make it in the band? How do you make it as a musician? Because you're a perfectionist, right? You grind. You leave no stone unturned in the pursuit of the goal. And that's what they do at Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. And that's, when you work with them, you take advantage of 27 years of experience. For 20 years, Tommy was in this game. And then 7 years ago, he said, you know what? There's some things I do differently. I'm going to go strike out on my own. And, well, their success, their rise speaks for itself. So if you don't trust me, if you need any, Hardy Plague, Vinyl Siding, Wood or Vinyl Wendy's, any type of door, make Tommy's one of the bids on your next project, and you benefit. Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you.
Make up your mind. Decide to walk with me.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, OTB. Let's get to more of this Brian Kelly sound. Here is Brian Kelly, and he was asked about the safeties and what they need to do at the next stage of their development.
You know, I think we've done a pretty good job relative to the communication. That was going in something that we were concerned about. I think that's been a piece that I think has been really, from my end, a pleasant surprise.
Just do Kelly 4 here.
We've got to continue to stress them in tackling. That's really going to be a big piece for us is can we erase some mistakes up front? And when we say mistakes up front, if we cut a gap loose, if there's an issue up front relative to a run fit, can those safeties erase for us? And we're not there yet. We need to continue to evaluate that. You know, we've got a young group that we're trying to get as many reps back there as well with the veteran guys out there, Jordan and Jordan. Those guys are doing a really nice job, but we got to continue to get the young guys some reps as well. That will be the next stage for us in the development of the safeties.
Practicing tackling in today's game is probably pretty tough. I mean, you probably get it, maybe a handful of periods nowadays?
I mean, it feels like I've seen some clips where they've been doing it. I don't want to say often because you're not going to do it often, to your point, T, but it does feel like it is a point of emphasis. I mean, I just saw one where Josh Williams, and it was a live drill, and he makes a great cut, gets into the end zone. And we saw
was that
Caleb,
yesterday's 10? Was that from the 10? Was that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And then Caleb Jackson, we saw the video, and him running over a linebacker. We saw him take it to the house on a counter. That all looked live to me.
No, they've had some periods. Blake Baker talked about it. I can't remember. He put a number.
Which I wonder how much of that.
4. He said 4 periods.
I wonder how much of that.
4 days of practice.
Okay, 4 days of tackling.
Right, okay. But I wonder how much of that they didn't do last year. I would love to know that information, like what their practice schedule was last year compared to what it is now, because the last 2 years, and really going back to the last 4 years, but 2 years with a bulk of this coaching staff, the season opener, there's been some issues getting the guy on the ground. I wonder how much they changed their practice schedule. Hey, look, we got a high-powered offense. The last 2 years, we've been poor tackling in the opener. It has really showed. We haven't been ready. We are going to change that up. I don't remember them doing this much last year. I could be wrong, but I don't remember it.
I will say this. I really love the quote that Baker had about, look, tackling is as much, if not even more, about basically the run-up to the tackle. It's about the approach as much as it is about the tackle itself, right? Because if you put yourself in good position, well, then you won't be arm tackling, and you'll have the ability to hit them flush and square up and get them to the ground. So those are things that you can still practice, but you have to be focused on the details, if you're tagging up, you have to really coach it hard about, okay, where did you tag up? Like, were you just on the side and you're like, oh, I would have made that tackle? Maybe not. Could have ran through that. Or did you square him up and then, you fit him and you let him go? You don't take him to the ground. So
God, I used to hate that.
What?
Defensive guy run by you, he get like a fingernail on you.
Yeah,
Got you
like,
down.
Yeah,
I'd have had you. It's like,
nah, fam.
Wouldn't have had nothing. Wouldn't have had a flag in flag football.
So we mentioned the safeties. Here's Kelly 8, Alondra. What does he still need to see from this cornerback group?
We haven't put up a depth chart, really. We're rolling out different guys, and I think Corey's looking for the same thing that I'm looking for. Who's able to stack days together consistently? Instead of, I had a good day today, but I didn't have such a good day yesterday. We just need to be more consistent. I think it's just this group now it's about, this is probably not a great analogy, but we're getting close to like moving day, like in golf. Like these guys need to understand that over the next few days, this is where, we need to see who are those guys that can stack days together. And Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's kind of moving day for us. We need to see those guys that are going to stack days together.
I think moving day, Jake, in a golf tournament is, I believe it's day 3, but it's basically when like you're going to get the contenders of the tournament. Like the guys who are going to win. Guys that miss the
cut, get out.
Yeah. And then even like who are the guys that are going to separate, right? Like who's going to be like the 5 or 6 that'll actually be there in the end.
Yeah, we didn't talk a lot of moving day in Sunset Acres growing up. Sorry. I didn't know what that was.
Well, at least he didn't reference the Amalfi Coast this time around.
That really stuck with you.
So, look, there's just like nothing that like the common man cannot relate with more than
him and Peter Burns
anecdotes
were just
about the Amalfi Coast.
Yeah, I'm like, I've been to London one time to play football.
This is something that is consistently showing up, which is the need for consistency out of that position. Let's put a pin in this and continue to watch it as camp goes on and see if he starts to change his tune. Let's also put a pin in this segment and get ready to close out the hour next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Hunt Palmer Golf Talk. Hunt, did I get moving day right?
I don't care if I did.
Go to centralplumbing.org, 925-8552. Central Plumbing's a one-stop plumbing shop. They've been at it for over 50 years. So, nailed it. Let's go, dude. Golf Bob. That's why they call me G-Bob. Why they call me P-Bob? Because plumbing. And Central Plumbing, centralplumbing.org.
Well, I was thinking something else for the P when it comes to you and plumbing, but.
Yeah, I pee so much that I clog the pipes. Isn't that crazy? Just a veritable tsunami of urine.
Wouldn't go in there either.
Just like a fire hose. The water pressure. I actually chipped the toilet the other day. I had to call Central Plumbing.
They fix it?
Hell yeah. Right away. 24/7 emergency service. Weekend, weekday, holiday, don't matter. They there, man. 925-8552 for all your pee pressure problems.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Moscone.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscone. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques, Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, you know, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, you know. We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I mean, gotta keep going until we get to the chorus here. I remember the glycerine. What is glycerine in reference to? I don't know. I remember the bad kids.
A little sparkle to you.
I remember the bad kids on the bus used to listen to Bush.
The bad kids?
Yeah,
listen
like
to
the
Bush?
older, like the older kid, like junior high kid.
Bad kids on our bus listening to Too Short. Not Bush.
We used to listen to, I remember probably the reason why I curse so much along with Jane Silent Bob Strikes Back is we used to listen to Mark, Tom, and Travis live every day. The old Blink-182 live album. And I'm pretty sure we used to listen to Eminem a lot too, which is crazy because I never listened to Eminem.
Yeah, you're a hater.
True. I have not been tempted to check out that new album at all.
All right, hey, real quick, here on August the 15th, I want to make sure I get this out there before the season starts. I want to get ahead of it. I am starting to think that we need to add UCF, Central Florida, to the top contenders in the Big 12, not just they could.
I've come around as well.
I think the schedule lines up really nicely for them. When you look at, games that are going to be in Orlando, Colorado, Cincinnati, BYU, Arizona, Utah, huge. Having those games all in the bounce house. 2 tough road games at Florida, October the 5th, and then at West Virginia, November the 23rd. But, you kind of ramp up to that point. And also, Gus Malzahn, he turned a defensive back in Nick Marshall to a really good college quarterback, right?
Yeah, and they played the national championship, almost won it.
And you look at what he has in the backfield. He's got R.J. Harvey, who had over 1,400 rushing yards, 6.3 yards per carry, and 16 tuds on the ground. He's also got Penny Boone, who had 1,400 yards, 7.2 yards per carry, and 15 tuds on the ground.
So I'll reinforce this point. We just talked about Quishon Judkins. It comes from a Pro Football Focus released their top 10 schools at each position group. Number 1 was Ohio State. Number 2 was UCF.
Yeah, and if it wasn't UCF, it wasn't UCF, it'd probably be number 1 if it was another big school U.
Ahead of Georgia, ahead of Penn State, ahead of Ole Miss, ahead of Miami, Oregon, Kansas State, West Virginia.
Penny Boone is on the Y'all Meathead team in the field still. In case you're wondering, he's that kind of running back. He's a giant. And you got KJ Jefferson now at quarterback. we all saw KJ Jefferson last year, and I know LSU's defense was bad, but we know KJ Jefferson. We know he can have big moments.
Yeah, Danos was garbage last year. The OC.
He always has been. And
Dan Enos.
Yeah,
Danos.
we all know who you talk. And they had John Rice Plumlee last year at quarterback. And look, John Rice Plumlee, I'm not trying to besmirch him. That 2019 game he had against LSU was incredible.
Great game.
It was running the football, though.
Yeah.
Look, John Rice Plumlee finished his Ole Miss career as a receiver. And he was playing quarterback at UCF last year. Like, there's things he can do, certainly. He's not in the same atmosphere as KJ Jefferson at quarterback.
No.
So Gus now has KJ Jefferson. Again, he's taken Marshall as a DB and turned him into a good college quarterback. Now he's got probably his best one in a very long time. And you have those two backs, and you already have your leading receivers coming back. They returned 15 starters. They kind of know the Big 12 now that it's not completely new to them. Johnny Richardson also comes back on this team in the running back room. He had 586 yards last year on the ground too. It's going to be kind of that old school Gus Malzahn Auburn offense in Orlando, and it could get them in a situation to play for the Big 12.
Yeah, the Golden Knights, the only team in the nation with two returning running backs in the top 10 in rush yards in the country from last season. Also, how about KJ Jefferson to go from Fayetteville to now Orlando, Sun, Malzahn? Ooh, got to feel good.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Thursday, August 15th. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect rainy skies with a high of 97. In hour 2 of today's show, we'll talk all things New Orleans Saints. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo! What's happening, y'all? Welcome back, OTB. T-Bob, Jake, Alondra, Henry, and Taylor hanging out with you today here in studio. Talking a lot of LSU there in hour number 1. Camp rolling right along. Brian Kelly meeting with the media. We'll talk some Saints here in hour number 2. And I want to start with a report out of the NFC South. First let's talk about a fake report that you may have seen. If you see a report that the Vikings are inquiring about a trade for Derek Carr, just know that this was all spurred by a fake Twitter account.
Anybody believes that any team in the National Football League would trade any asset for Derek Carr, shame on you.
Yahoo Sports believed it. A lot of outlets did. I got a friend who works for the Vikings who's the one who sent me the original message, and I'm with you. My kind of red flag started to go up a little bit. And then sure enough, you click on the account and it's beautifully done. The name is Scott Erickson. And it's just a generic, like, kind of journalist headshot, white guy, suit, no tie. Mm-hmm. You've seen it a million times. And so people took it at face value. Yes, like, there's the picture, Jake. Tell me that doesn't. Scott Erickson with that picture attached.
Yes.
You think he's a local Indianapolis or a local Minneapolis TV guy?
Yeah.
Like 1,000%. He's not. It's a fake account. The tweet has millions of views. Do not be fooled. Derek Carr will not be taken off of your hands by the Minnesota Vikings. He will be your quarterback. He needs to be protected, like we talk about all the time. That may have gotten a bit tougher as the Atlanta Falcons
minus the May
just traded a 3rd-round pick to the New England Patriots for Matthew Judon. Of course, if you don't know who Judon is, maybe you have short-term memory, as he tore his bicep last year, so I think he only played in 4 games. But in 2021, he had 12.5 sacks. In 22, he had 15.5 sacks. His 15.7% pressure rate is 7th in the NFL over the last 3 years. Now, like Kirk Cousins, he is 32 years old, and he's coming off of an injury. So, like, there's something to watch there. But this is the
run past your tackle.
This is the sort of move that it kind of feels like maybe it cements the Falcons as NFC South favorites, especially because it comes at a time in which you are less confident in your offensive line than you ever have been. Also, the red sleeves work in Atlanta as well, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, they do. He's a good player. Is he in his absolute prime? No, he's not, but he is still a very good player that can get after the quarterback, and it is going to give you yet another thing to fret about when you go against the Falcons. And the Falcons have stockpiled a lot of talent. Now, talent only gets you so far. We all know that. But when you look at their roster, they've put together. Now, they've had some injuries at receiver, injuries at, edge rusher. That's why you go make a move like this. But still, it's a talented team. And when you get a new head coach, like, it feels like it can go one way or the other. But there seems to be a lot of excitement in that locker room. They feel like they have their coach that they want to play for after Arthur Smith kind of ran them into the ground. And it is a team that feels like they're going to be there for the totality of the season, going toe-to-toe with you.
Yeah, you might have missed this as well. This move makes sense also because the Falcons had drafted Washington pass rusher Braylon Trice in the 3rd round. He tore his ACL, unfortunately. Huge bummer for the rookie, so he's out. They'd also tried to trade for Montez Sweat last year. They tried to trade up for Leatu Latu during this year's draft, so they finally found their guy. And, well, Jeff Duncan on NOLA.com today has a very good piece on Trevor Penning. It's a very quick read, but basically it says, is it too early to give up on Trevor Penning? And I believe the majority of Saints fans would say no, right? Majority of Saints fans say no. We've seen it. He's broken. He sucks. He's done. But Jeff, having done this for a long time, provides us a couple of concrete examples that we can look at to see which one will he be. On one hand, there's Charles Brown. And that's basically who Penny has been up to this point. Charles Brown was a second-round pick in the 2010 draft. Never started. 3 years later, finally given a chance to start in 2013. And in a game against the Rams, he was benched mid-game. And real Saints fans will remember this post-game press conference. It was pretty infamous. Sean Payton was pissed, and he said, I saw enough, period. Needless to say, Charles Brown never made it.
Nope.
On the other hand, you have John Stinchcomb, drafted 37 overall in 2003. So very much a borderline first-round pick. He didn't start a game in his first 3 seasons. He, too, was labeled a massive bust. Eventually, somehow, through patience and, I guess, hard work and just perseverance, he became an everyday starter, and he actually made the Pro Bowl in 2009.
I forgot Stinch's brother played for the Saints.
You're
right.
Yeah. So it's like if you want to, in terms of what's more likely, it's probably, I'm leaning towards the Charles Brown piece here. But Stinchcomb, if you want to be positive or you want to try to be optimistic, Stinchcomb's own journey is a great example that, look, sometimes it takes guys longer to learn. And Penny was drafted as a project originally.
I saw that yesterday, and there's something to that. He probably was, but also the Saints had a need at tackle, so I don't know how much I believe it was like a 3-year plan.
Well, they had probably not 3 years, not 3 years.
That's kind of the way it was.
They had Ramchick, and they had
Pete, but he was more of a guard. I mean, he had to kick out the tackle out of necessity.
Who was it? Landon? No, not Landon Young. That's who they have now. There was another. There's another veteran tackle they felt okay about in the short term, but no, definitely not 3 years. Yeah, maybe it was Hurst. It wasn't a 3-year plan, though, certainly.
Right. You don't draft anybody in any round, really, for a 3-year
No, because then their contract's up.
Yes.
And it's like, what was the point of all this then? But so, look, there is maybe that's a little bit of hope. Again, it does feel like Penny is still kind of 1 step forward, 2 steps back in terms of what's most likely. I don't think he'll develop, but it's possible. I mean, I remember Joe Barksdale, who was a very good college player, very good NFL player eventually. I remember Joe talking to him before, I think it was like year 7 in the NFL, and he was like, I finally know football. Right? So the rate at which guys learn and the depth of what there is to be learned goes, I think, far deeper than we sometimes give credit for. And maybe Penning eventually starts to figure it out somewhat this year and then can continue to climb. Because he does have an incredible natural talent, or at least size and ability, that not many have. He just has no idea how to employ it correctly right now.
I don't know what to tell him to get his confidence back. Sometimes it never comes back. Sometimes it clicks like T-Bob's talking about, and it happens. It can happen within a game. You stop an edge rusher that everybody knows, one of the stars of the league, and you're like, oh, I can do this. oh, let me get confidence. And I swear it can happen like that in the game. I have seen it happen from running backs that were playing behind me, and they had confidence issues. And all of a sudden they make one guy, one Pro Bowl safety miss in the hole, and then the rest of that season you see a different player. Like I've seen it happen within a game in the NFL. Maybe that does, but again, right now, Trevor Penning has the yips to the highest of yiptivity.
Yeah.
Okay? He is out there. All technique is lost, right? I'm sure he has a plan going into the game, but after the first snap, it's all out the window, and he's just trying to do whatever he can to survive. It is a bad place to be in, and I don't know if he can't do it in the preseason, if he can just get that done in the regular season. All his technique goes out the window. All the things that he learned at all these offensive line summits that he went to over the spring and summer, it looks like he completely forgot it, and that is troublesome, worrisome, whatever you want to call it, for the Saints, because they have to make a decision here pretty quick. They've either got to say, you know what, we got to put a veteran guy in there whose ceiling is nowhere close to what we think Trevor's can be, but also his floor is nowhere close to where Trevor's is right now. And they're in that time slot, T.
Moving day. I wonder if they just try to push him through, kind of like they did last year, to week one. Try to start, maybe have him on a short leash, but then what does that do for his mental? I don't know. But yeah, it's hard. It is definitely hard to sit here on the outside and expect it just to kind of click out of nowhere.
So right now, ESPN.com did an article where it was like, okay, the ceiling for this team, the floor for this team, and also like the biggest X factor for this team. If we stay in the NFC South, for the Atlanta Falcons, ceiling 12-5, floor 7-10.
Mm-hmm.
Does that feel about right for the Falcons?
Mm-hmm.
Carolina Panthers, ceiling 8-9, floor 3-14. Biggest X factor, will the offensive line protect Bryce Young? For the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, ceiling 10-7, floor 5-12. Biggest X factor.
Look at them detail. They're still hating on your boy Baker, dude.
New faces on defense. Okay, so probably all kind of agree where they're at.
8 wins for Carolina feels like I know that's a ceiling. That's still crazy.
Actually, like the talent, they should be better. But yes,
okay,
I'm with
so.
you. After what we saw last year, my God. All right, New Orleans Saints, ceiling 10-7, floor 5-12. Anybody want to guess what the biggest X factor for them is?
Offensive line?
No, literally right tackle.
Just right tackle.
Literally Trevor Penning, naming him without naming him. Right tackle is the biggest X factor for the Saints. That's how much everybody is noticing how bad Trevor Penning and his technique and where they're currently at right now.
Yeah.
And look, you and I, and you don't have to co-sign, but I feel like you were with me at the Senior Bowl. I was like, I love what I've seen from this guy. He was so confident in that Senior Bowl. He was going against Oklahoma, Ohio State, like all these big schools. He's from Northern Iowa, and he was finishing. Right, he was getting in fights because he was finishing. Guys were tired of getting their butt kicked by a guy from Northern Iowa. I'm like, this guy's super confident, man. He feels like he's the biggest, baddest dude here. Like, where did that go? Like, how can you get that back? Because I understand how confidence works. He hasn't, played well, so he struggled, and now he's lost that confidence. How do you get that confidence we saw in Mobile, Alabama a couple of years ago back? Because he had it. It was there.
But he was going against other college kids. Really good ones.
He was.
Very good ones.
I get that.
Very good ones.
But he also was just going against guys that might make the team. Because remember, he played longer than any other starting offensive lineman for the Saints. He played 3 times the snaps almost that any other starting offensive lineman played for. So he was going against guys that are fighting to make the team on the Cardinals roster as well.
Yeah. Did Cole Strange end up being good?
Yeah, he's been okay.
He's been okay?
Been okay. That was the one you scouted and you had the notebook.
There's another one that I really liked. So I don't know. So we'll see, man. Trevor Penning, the key to potentially the entire Saints season. Can he get it figured out as the Falcons continue to amass weapons? All right, coming up next, here on OTB, a former Falcons quarterback had something not very nice to say about the New Orleans Saints. We'll get to it on 104.5 ESPN.
You don't say.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com, PECbuilt.com. You go to Pinnacle today, and look, man, you need a pool, You need any size or type of fence. You want to put some turf in your yard, outdoor kitchen, outdoor living area, pergolas, bulkheads, anything. It's all at Pinnacle Exterior Construction. They build the spaces, you build the memories. And that's what this is all about. Making your home your greatest investment, your greatest asset. The whole reason why we do everything we do, make your home reach its full potential. Make it the place that you want to hang out at, that your kids want to hang out at. That's where Pinnacle comes in. PECbuilt.com.
Go to the website today, and remember, it is residential and commercial. T-Bob just gave it to you. Pools, outdoor living, fences, bulkheads, artificial turf. So if you own a business and you need, a huge area of turf, well, certainly they can come in and do that. But even if you just want like a putting green, a strip of turf to work out in your yard, you can do that as well. Check it out online, PECbuilt.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
The best kept secret.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back. Chad saying, I saw Trevor Penning TikTok, and it's not just bad, it may be the worst O-line film ever built on tape. Penny just looks scared every snap, saying better figure something else. Yeah, that's what Jake is talking about. He's talking about having the biggest yips in all of yiptitude. T-Pow says, honest question, can Mickey Loomis even lose his job? He's a minority owner, correct? He is not technically a minority owner, but in many ways, functionally, he is. He is a part of that that group that the Bensons trust implicitly to run their empire. So yeah, no, Mickey Loomis ain't going anywhere. So what I teased before the break, Ben Kirk. You probably heard us talk about recently, right? That's that guy who makes a lot of great. I think it was Madden for a long time, but now he's been doing a lot of NCAA videos. That's how I discovered him. He's a former 5-year NFL quarterback. You know, Jake, kind of different journeyman, played for a few different teams, Falcons, Packers, whatever. But does really good work in the content creation space. But he tweeted out that he thinks that the New Orleans Saints might be the worst team in the NFL this year. Now, he would go on to say, I forgot about the Patriots, but still the chance is there, right?
Well, actually, this team's going to be horrible, but...
You see it right there. Forgot the Patriots existed, but still a chance. Let's not go too crazy here, Kurt, okay? Pump your freaking brakes, okay? Because I get where you're getting at. Most boring team? Yeah, maybe, right? Most uninteresting, mediocre, 7-10. But to say they are going to be the worst when they will have a defense that I will guarantee will be top 10, has a chance to be top 5, is patently absurd. You are not going to be the worst. I mean, even last year. Now, what they did last year was incredible. To have a top 10 scoring offense and a top 10 scoring defense and be, 9-8? That's hard to do, to not be better, right? But no, this is not going to be the worst team in the NFL, Ben Kurt. They might be the most boring, but they're not the worst, damn it. Okay?
Hopefully.
No, they can't. No, not with that defense. How wrong would the defense have to go for the Saints to literally finish as the worst? The Panthers were the worst team in the NFL. There's no way you can have a top 10 defense and go 3-14. The offense is not that bad. I don't care what kind of emotion you have tied up in it. If anybody disagrees, tell me. But the offense you can't be that bad.
I just wanted to see you get hot and bothered. No, they're not going to be. They have too many players on the defensive side of the football. I think that's kind of the problem. Is it feels mid, as the kiddos would say. That's just what the Saints feel right now.
Which is arguably worse, and why you arrive at they're going to be the worst because they're so boring. But
I mean, so my oldest son, I remember the other day, he's like, is there any team that just feels more, 9-8 than the New Orleans Saints over the last 3 years? I'm like, no, that's where they feel. That's where they live.
Yeah.
It's not bad enough to get a really good draft pick. It's not good enough to make the playoffs. And what do? Do you continue to kick the can down the road and do that same situation they do with the salary cap every single year? And that's going to be it. It's like, okay, 10-7, 9-8, maybe you're 8-9. Because that's what they feel like. They feel like a very middle-of-the-road kind of team and franchise right now. Now, again, they're not going to get to the bottom. I think the Broncos are worse. I think the Panthers are worse. The Titans might actually kind of fall into that as well.
Yeah.
I think there's some other teams that would be in that category. The Patriots actually might be the answer. I mean, their ceiling might be 6 wins. But I think that's when you look at the Saints, that's kind of what's frustrating is it's where are we going as an organization? What direction are we going? Because right now it doesn't feel like any. It feels like neutral. It feels like we are just sitting in neutral, and I think some fans want to see it one way or the other.
Well, they're in a bit of a weird spot this year in particular because this is finally the year when Mickey decided to clean up the debts, right? This is finally the year where you're not going all in during free agency and making other moves and chasing a window that is clearly closed. And this is the plan, right? It's one of the reasons why you probably don't end up with Justin Simmons on the team. In the past, maybe you just would have gone for it, said F it, loaded it up, kick the can down the road like you've been doing. But in an effort to kind of reset the books, you've avoided that this season, and you've basically told Dennis Allen, look, I can come up with some creative deals to give you some help. We found a way to get Chase Young here, which I think is going to be a huge impact. But ultimately, you're going to have to make this team work. And if you don't, I'm going to be here, but you won't. And we're going to reset this thing economically, and then we're going to start kind of fresh and anew. So, but I guess where I'm getting at is that has increased You said it felt mid. It felt uninteresting. Well, that has increased that feelings because you have an offseason where there haven't been really any moves that like give you a ton of hope or that you could point to say that made you that much better. Although, again, the Chase Young thing does remain very exciting, but it's not long term. It's you're on a little 1 year partnership here. It's a summer fling of sorts, which is great. And I hope it goes all the way.
Yeah, it's like that great summer relationship that, I mean, when it started, even when it finished, it felt like it was at an 11, but you both knew that it had a time on it.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like. Now,
LFO.
Yeah. God, what did LFO stand
for? Left field, outfield. They're big baseball fans.
Nope.
Yeah, that's absolutely what it stood for. Front office seems like a bigger
light
issue than
funky
DNA.
ones.
The light funky ones.
I would have gone with the LFO as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a larger conversation to be had about the front office versus DA. And even then, if you don't like your coach with the front office, hire them, right? But again, it's like we said, we can complain and kick and thrash and weep and gnash, but Mickey Loomis ain't going anywhere. So you just kind of have to accept it for what it is. That said, Big Kirk, the Saints are not going to be the worst team in the NFL.
Like, that's the argument that we're having right now.
Yeah.
Hey, don't you say that, bud.
Yeah, keep your
all right?
Kurt, keep the Saints' name out your mouth.
We're going to be right there in the middle. Okay, bud?
Okay. Yeah. 10-7, baby. Let's go.
You still feel that way?
Yeah, I think there's, I mean, what are they, again, 9-8 last year.
Mm-hmm.
Their schedule looks
very
hard.
Rhetorical.
Their schedule looks very hard on the front end, but it actually is, we think it's easier overall, using, which is always a bit flawed using last year's results.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you were 9-8 last year, like I think you got better this offseason, getting Kubiak, getting Chase Young. So yeah, I think you have a chance to go 10-7. Yeah.
No, sorry, not a chance. Not a chance. Like, where are you right now? If they
Would
said
I bet on them to go,
if they
to win
said
10 games?
T-Bob, you're going to take this month's paycheck and you're going to put it on a number for how many games the Saints are going to win.
No, I've lost the win totals, I think, the last 2 years. So
no, I know, but what would you feel comfortable with this year? If you had to pick a win total, you had to put a paycheck on it, where would you live?
8.5, 9, go 9 wins, right over 8.5, if that's where the bar was. I'm not going to bet on them to win 10 games, though. It's also let's not go rubber band hard the opposite direction.
I'm 9. I would put my paycheck on 9 wins again. And that's kind of what we're talking about. It's not great, certainly not bad. It's okay. And I think there's some Saints fans that, obviously a lot of Saints fans want to see more. They want to see more signings, more trades, more whatever. But I think there's like a fraction of the fan base that's probably like, hey, can we either be bad and get a really good draft pick and get the quarterback of the future, or can we do something different? And like, they would be okay if it led to the Saints getting Carson Beck or whoever.
Yeah, Carson Beck's so boring. He's good, but like,
he's boring. He got leg tats. You can't be boring when you got leg tats.
You don't mistake activity for what did Brian Kelly said?
Why is he boring though?
I mean,
he had a mock turtleneck at media days, kind of a different look for him.
I'm not saying that he doesn't maybe I don't know what he wears. I'm just saying, has Carson Beck ever done anything where you're like, whoa, that dude's entertaining and charismatic? He's very good. He's very good. What did Kelly say? Don't mistake activity for what?
Well, who else are you comparing? Like, who's cool in the
for
quarterback
achievement
class?
In this year's quarterback class
that you're thinking of?
No, I mean, I think it's
because if I'm the Saints and Carson Beck's there in next year's draft, I'm pulling my hamstring, turning the card into the commish.
Because he's awesome at football.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Would you rather does Derek Carr move the needle for you?
No, he's boring too.
Okay. I was about to say,
I want Jameis Winston.
Well, I mean, I think
sometimes you go forward, you got to go back.
I think he's a good in-between.
Sometimes you go forward, you got to go back.
I think he's a good in-between.
Go to K to Z window coverings, KTOZblinds.com. Look, football season is upon us, guys, meaning you're going to be spending a lot of time in the backyard, maybe grilling, chilling, hanging out. Maybe you got the perfect setup to put a little drop-down exterior shade in so you can stay cool while you're out there, take care of the glare on the TV, even help, even pay benefits on the inside in terms of cooling your home, glare on that TV. Like, have K to Z out of your home. Let them tour, and they tell you exactly how the sunlight interacts with your home at every portion of the day, and then they take your home to the next level.
T-Bob, I do want to tell this story because it has been so hot here in South Louisiana. I'm sure in North Louisiana as well, but it has been so hot here in Baton Rouge that, your ACs, they're playing catch up, right? Even if they're working at their peak performance, they're still playing catch up because it's so hot. Every day, we've been dropping that shade, and it has completely changed the whole dynamic of the house. And again, it's exterior, and it's helping the interior, which I didn't even think of. When it was getting installed, I'm thinking of just our outdoor area, but it literally shades the biggest room in our home, our living room, and the AC doesn't have to work as hard because it cools it down that much.
See? Ancillary
That's
benefits
a true story.
that you don't even realize at K to Z Window Coverage, KTOZBlinds.com. Jake, what did you want to talk about coming into this segment before I told you that we had to do another Saints segment?
Our guy, RC, Ryan Clark, had a tweet that I feel like we could actually have a fun conversation about. He asked a question on Twitter, can you be more than one person's best friend? If so, can you actually have more than one best friend yourself? And I was like, oh, T-Bob's going to have a pretty good answer, I feel like, to this. I feel like Taylor was going to have a great answer.
Let's ruminate on this over the break, and when we return, we'll attempt to answer. We still got some Kelly Sound we can revisit. We got Big Deal or No Big Deal coming up at 9, Munchies at 9:15, everybody's favorite segment of everybody's week, and then everybody's least favorite segment of every day, Tay-Tay's NFL Story of the Day will be at 9:30 as well. So keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com, CommunitySteelCo.com. Purlin, tubing, sheet metal,
Gus Johnson,
trim. Oh, God, Community Steel. You've never seen prices like this. Somebody stop them. Does he ever say somebody stop them? He should.
Somebody stop
That's what I'm saying. P-A-R-T. Why? Because they gotta. CommunitySteelCo.com. Go see him today. Live local sales team. Best prices. They actually give a damn about you. You can touch the product right there in Gonzales. Community Steel Company.
Go to the website today. Find where they're located in Gonzales, Louisiana. It's the top right corner. Go see them today. They've been waiting on you for over an hour and a half already. So we tell you every single day. They open early for you. They want you to come see them. But if you can't, remember, you can always call them throughout the state of Louisiana, 225-647-2020.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to Six Rings Baseball.
Measure these things by your grace. I sank into Eden with you, alone in the church by and by.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
So, Jake, the question that Ryan Clark asked, is it, can you have more than one best friend, or can you be more than one person's best friend?
The question was, can you be more than one person's best friend? If so, can you actually have more than one best friend yourself?
I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes, I believe you can. There might be, if you really wanted to get down to to just brute forcing the math of ranking the relationships, there may be small differences where but I think between like very close friendships, but I feel that but even those small differences compared to the size of the friendship and the love that you feel for that person, that those differences are so small as to be indiscernible. Because I would say I feel like I have a few best friends, for sure, and a couple of very close friend groups. Me and all my high school kind of core, like 6 or 7, are all still very close. Me and a couple of the partners from college still very close. So yeah, I think you can.
I feel like you can have 2 best friends. I think in life you can have 2 best friends. You can have the best friend from pre-college. And then you have a best friend post-college. I think you're different in those times in your life, and a lot of times you don't live in the same area that your pre-college best friend lives in, but you still know if it's 2 a.m. on the side of the road, I can call him and he'll be here, or her.
Yeah.
Right?
Sure. Well, or her. You mean or her in your regard, or her if she's a female? Because I believe you can be friends with the opposite sex completely platonically, even very close friends. But I know that that's a bit of a controversial statement that not many believe that.
No, I mean, I think you can have best friends that are girls, boys.
I would agree.
I
would agree. Some people, it's crazy. Some people legitimately, and that's like the entire point of When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah.
Is some people legitimately don't think that's possible.
Yeah. So, I think you can have, I think there's just a difference there. Like my boy Big Wayne, that's my pre-college boy, and
Big Wayne,
I know to this day, if I call him, he lives in Houma, he's gonna be here.
Say Big Dubs. Hey, Big Wayne, come on now, Bo.
And my man,
yeah, absolutely.
Like for my man, like Doring, like post-college. Again, Doring lives in Gainesville, Florida. But if I was like, hey, Doring, man, I'm in a situation, I'm in Baton Rouge, you got to come help. He might be in the Bahamas, but he's going to find his way here to Baton Rouge.
You set me up perfectly because Chris Dorian's going to be on Snaps later today. Check it out. YouTube.com/whatever. Just Google Snaps CFB.
YouTube.com. You said /whatever? That's what we're going to do?
Yeah, /whatever. No, it's like /@SnapCFB_, which is just Google Snaps CFB. Henry, you said you wanted to weigh in on this best friend topic.
Okay,
what do you got?
This is meaningful to me personally because like my 2 best friends play completely different roles in my life.
Oh, really?
I've got Adam and Sean, and they're like my ride or dies. Adam is like my party friend, like go out, like let's hang out, let's get insane, let's do something crazy. And then Sean is like my rational friend that I go to for like actual advice. And then
So you use your best friends like the angel and devil on your shoulder in the cartoons.
Yeah.
And Adam is the devil and Sean is the angel.
Depending how greasy he wants to get.
Okay.
You know?
The best way to describe that is I just got a cat, and like I love the cat so much.
Yeah.
My mom's like deathly allergic.
I love cats. Yeah.
Whatever. I love my cat so much.
I agree, dude.
Adam, he
Sorry,
was
Michelle,
like,
get over
we
it.
need to get the cat right now. He was like, we have to get it. And then I called Sean up. He was in Beaumont, that's where he's from. I was like, hey, I'm going to get a cat for the house. You okay with that? And he was like, I'm just not sure if we're ready for that kind of commitment yet. I got the cat
So all
anyway.
three of y'all live together?
We all three live
this is
together in a
fantastic.
4-person house, and it's
Well, and you're very
wonderful.
thoughtful because you were talking about making homemade chicken tendies last night, but you mentioned
Yes.
that all the boys like them breaded at different levels.
Hang on, I actually have a picture I was showing Taylor. Let me.
So which? Let me guess. Party boy likes more breading on his tendies. Am I wrong or right here?
You're completely wrong.
Okay, never mind. So party boy likes the light. So the rational one wants more breading. For some reason, I would not have thought that was the case.
Hang on. Let me get this up. So all of my friends like their chicken tenders different. And Adam, who's the party guy, he wanted his like Cane's 3-finger combo, like barely any breading.
Okay.
But mine were like extremely crispy.
Yeah, now you get.
I had so much breading on mine, and I only ate 2.
Hell yeah,
I was
dude.
done. I was cooked. But then also Adam, he likes to eat like raw seafood like all the time as a snack.
Yeah.
And-
Wait. What do you?
That's
what?
aggressive.
Well,
What do you mean?
he pulled out the crab stick, and he was like, "If I put this in some panko,
Hold
will
on.
you fry it?"
No, that'd be great.
Well-
but wait, but as a casual, let's back it up. As a casual snack, Sean's just slamming imitation crab sticks just right out the fridge.
That's Adam. Yeah, he
Adam
takes
is?
the crab sticks and he just eats them all the time. But then
I'm
he
not
also,
crazy, guys. That's not crab, right?
No,
Crab
it's-
sticks are imitation crab, correct?
It's not real crab.
Right,
It's,
yes.
Oh my
it's
God.
imitation. But it's like he will eat anything, and he also gets the shrimp chips from Costco, and they taste like so.
What are shrimp chips?
They taste like shrimp.
Potato chips flavored like shrimp?
Exactly.
Do you live with a sociopath?
Yeah, who? Like you need to keep
basically.
one eye open.
Okay. So here are my chicken
Look
tendies.
at all the tendies. Yeah,
right?
hell
So
yeah.
You see, we got the crab.
Yes,
So
dude.
on
Look
the-
at the crab sticks. It looks like a freaking mozzarella
fish
stick,
stick?
dude. Yeah.
On the
I'd
right
eat it, though,
are
to be
mine,
clear.
my crispy ones.
Yeah.
And then on the top left are Adam's, the Cane's.
Those look pretty
S
Canesy.
ones. And then the bottom is Sean, and he wanted his like burnt,
Medium.
like
Just
a
right.
little bit cooked, a little bit more.
Okay.
And they came out like perfect.
Hell yeah.
So
Henry, there's such a wholesome relationship that you three have. This is wonderful. So you're firmly in the camp of you can have multiple best friends.
no, that's why I wanted to chime in, because like if I didn't have either of them, like the other one could not play the other's part.
There you go.
Like at all. But then like also like we're all in band, and our instruments like apply to like the roles that we play like in like everyday life. And then like all the School of Music people, it's the same way.
Well, now I got to know what instruments y'all play.
Well, Adam plays trumpet. And
Okay.
he's in the Golden Band from Tigerland.
And is he the party boy?
He's the party one.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Sean plays the baritone, which is like,
Solid.
it's mini too. And that's, like,
Fundamental. Holding it down. Rational. Let's just check ourselves a little bit. Trumpet guy wants to go off and do a crazy little solo, Louis Armstrong style. No, we gotta bring this thing down a little bit.
Exactly.
What about you, Henri? What do you play?
I play the bassoon.
Okay.
It's a little bit
I don't know much about the bassoon.
not the most common thing, but I enjoy it. And
Hell yeah.
Last thing I'll say to dox my best friend, Adam. Like I said, he plays trumpet. I do this thing where when we're at restaurants together, I'll like blurt out loud, "He's in the Golden Band from Tigerland," as loud as possible, and it embarrasses the hell out of him. He hates it, but it's so much fun because nobody cares.
If you go to a band party, do people play instruments at the party?
No.
No?
They're always
Okay.
at like at Fred's or Mike's, and
Okay.
like it's always the band people. You always think that they're gonna be like the good ones.
No, I know band people are party animals. I just have like visions of like a bunch of artists hanging out, getting hammered, and like playing the trumpet and stuff, like doing little diddlies.
You know, they don't play instruments, but like people get into like philosophical discussions about like classical music.
Yeah.
At like 2 a.m. at Tigerland, where we're
Hell
like,
yes.
I think Tchaikovsky is. It's like, it's the kind of conversation that you would never imagine happens drunk, but like it happens all the time.
I'm a Dvorak guy myself. What can I say? Alondra.
Yeah, I've been waiting to hear Alondra too.
Can you have more than one best friend?
Yeah, I think you can, because
Wow, we're all on the same page.
I, like Jake, have like a pre-college best friend, and then I have like a post-college best friend. And
so you also subscribe to the rule of 2. It's like the Sith Lords. There can only be 2.
I have another one from pre-college that I would consider one of my best friends.
I would agree with you. I think I go over 2 as well.
But
Yeah,
and
but
I also think that guys
game
and
on the
girls-
line, you got one that you're calling.
Yeah.
Pre and post.
I think I got 3.
But you have a first call.
I think I got a brother, and then I think I got 3.
Like your brother Bo?
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, yeah, my older brother, like
Yeah,
same
I'm not counting him. I'm just running
Like, I know
through
he'd go
scenarios
there.
of people I would call. Yeah, I would have a first call. Yeah, for sure.
My younger brother, I
but
don't
the
know.
first
I don't know
call
if he'd
could
show
be
up. We'll see.
geographically. You know what I'm saying? Like it could be like, okay, who's actually in a position to help me out of that group? Versus this is just always going to be my first call no matter what.
Like,
I'm about to take family out.
My sister-in-laws are some of my best friends. Brother-in-law, same situation. Brothers, sister, like you got all these family. But I'm saying you got one, like you're calling somebody first, like always. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. What I'm saying is though, out of that group, it might be who's best positioned to help me in my current predicament. Like, are they, do I need something like, are they close by? Are they far away? Is this something that needs proximity?
More of a metaphor than an actual event.
Well, I mean, I've been in this situation before, and it actually is crazy. I didn't call the person who was closest when I got trouble, got a DWI, got arrested, and was not thinking straight. I called my best friend from high school who was in Atlanta, and I said, "Hey, I'm in jail. Get me out. Don't tell my parents." And I hung up.
If it's the friend that I think you called, I think you found a way, though.
They found a way. The crew found a way to get me out.
Yeah.
Taylor, what about you?
I was gonna say that. Wait, real fast.
Yeah.
I was gonna say also that I think that I agree that boys or guys and girls can be best friends. My best friend's a guy,
There you
and
go.
we've been best friends since 7th grade, and it's
There you
never, ever been weird. And I don't think
Yeah.
it'll ever be that way either. Like, you know how people say like eventually whatever. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
It's never been like that.
I agree.
Taylor, what about you?
Can I be more than one person's best friend? Yes, I was almost a best man in 2 different weddings, but no, I believe you can only have one best friend. It's the best, guys. It's the best. Like there's
Like by
literally one.
definition.
By definition,
Yeah,
there's one.
but I'll say this though: you've always lived in this town, so you've never separated from your best friend from high school.
So I'll tell you, one of the guys is my best friend from high school. The other's kind of my best friend from college because me and my high school buddy went to 2 different schools.
Yeah, but still, you grew up. You still live in the same area.
I got one best
So
friend.
I think that's a little bit different. Like we all grew up somewhere different than here, so I think that's why you probably have one best friend.
But like, okay, so
You know what
like
I'm
me and my buddy are super close. He was in my wedding. He's not friends with any of my other groomsmen. I'm in his wedding. I'm not really quote unquote friends with any of his other groomsmen. Like we've gotten to know each other over the years because of the mutual friendship, but like it's kind of separate in that way.
Again, I know what you're saying about the literal definition of best, but I think the differences are so small as to be indiscernible, like I said. And my wife has texted me. To be clear, spouses are not included in this. Like,
yeah, for sure.
Their spouse is the person that literally knows you better than any person on the entire face of the planet.
That's
so
duh.
It transcends traditional definitions of friendship.
Because if you ain't best friends with your spouse, it's going to be a long
I
time.
do remember being a little hesitant to call my spouse the night I got arrested because I had vehemently argued at the beginning of the night for a boys' night. And so that was not going to be the first call that I made from the prison cell.
Yeah. Now, my wife would find a way to get me out. Ain't no doubt about that.
They did. She did.
Yeah.
But she had to be told by my other friend that I'd been arrested.
Yeah. She'd call me, you big dummy.
All right. When we get back, more to be.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Trash Rangers, trashrangersllc.com. Look, man, residential trash. You live in Livingston or Ascension. You want somebody who gives a damn, who's reliable, who's efficient, who texts you the night before they come to pick up your cans every single time to remind you so you never forget to put out again. That's Trash Rangers. You can make the switch. Go on Facebook. There's a bunch of threads about this. You probably see the red cans popping up all over the place. That's because Trash Rangers just offers a better, more consistent level of service. But it's not just residential. If you're a business owner, anywhere, this includes all Baton Rouge. You need your front load dumpsters emptied out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days a week. You need any size roll-off dumpster for a big project. It's all at Trash Rangers, trashrangersllc.com.
Go to the website today to see what they can do for you as far as those roll-off dumpsters. If you've got a project at your home or your business, they have 3 different sizes. They have a size to fit your needs. Go to the website to reserve it today, trashrangersllc.com.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Moscone.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, OTB. All right, sorry, Trevor Penning TikTok sent me out a Trevor Penning TikTok hole, and I'm not going to play this next one with sound, but it comes from Dino Sports Talk. Give me the video just up here, Taylor. This is the worst footwork that I have ever seen in my entire life, Jake. Watch these kick sets that Trevor Penning does, but the thing is, he doesn't even do a kick set. Like, you're supposed to anchor down on that inside leg, and you kind of kick back with your outside, and that anchor point becomes, look, if they want to go outside, good. You can always flip and you can push them around, right? If they come back inside, well, you got your strong inside leg, inside hand, and you kind of anchor yourself to the ground. So if they try to bull rush you, well, you can just drop. He shuffles. His feet, his heels, and it's every set. His heels are clicking together. This is day one stuff. You can go out on high school practice fields across America and see kids doing a kick set more correctly. I could stand up in this studio right now and show you a more correct kick set. From punting, you know how to do a more correct. I have never. How are you in the NFL for 3 years and you are shuffling your feet to the point where your heels click together? That's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
That's unbelievable.
So bad. That might be the worst I've ever seen.
It's actually insane. This is day one stuff. This is day one stuff. Your feet should never come together. Especially not in the air. What are we talking about here?
Don't click your heels like Dorothy. How many times have you heard that? Don't click your heels like Dorothy. This isn't the Wizard of Oz. I mean, it's
unbelievable.
That's like seriously day one, like freshman year in college. Like
they teach this in high school now, Jake.
Yeah.
This was me setting in high school. Yes, absolutely. You didn't have real coaching back then. It wasn't understood how to coach pass protection on NFL level. The fact that he's opening his hips up completely to the outside.
Never turn both jersey numbers to the outside. Look, right there, both of them. I can see the 7 and the 0.
You're supposed to be posted up. You're supposed to be posted up like this, and you're basically square to the line of scrimmage. You're just right here. I don't.
That's Chuck Knobloch. Is broken. Like there's no T-Bob. There's no fixing that.
That's not bro. That's just inexplicable.
Yeah.
Like, are you an athlete? Just do what your coaches are telling you. At least make it look like you know what to do. OTB next hour. Jesus.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day. And without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at guaranteemedia.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
To help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX, Jackson, KNXX, Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. here on Thursday, August 15th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect rainy skies with a high of 97. In hour 3 of today's show, we'll have Big Deal or No Big Deal at 9 a.m. Then at 9:15, LSU Executive Chef Michael Johnson hops on the show for our Munchie segment. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch it in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? So, chat was telling me during the break, T-Bob, we just looked at that Penning and Fell film. Because, it then becomes a thing of how in the hell did the front office ever draft him then, right? If that's the technique that he's always had. Well, my initial thought after that was look, we live in a world where Markelle Fultz legitimately forgot how to shoot free throws. So, we've seen crazier things. A number 1 overall pick, very good basketball player, got so twisted up in his brain and body chemistry that he could not shoot a free throw. The easiest physical act in the game of basketball. So I'm like, okay, maybe Penning had the form and he lost it. Well, I just typed in Trevor Penning college highlights, Jake. And you can go ahead and play, Taylor. I'll just talk over it. No. It's the exact same sets. He's just way bigger than everyone.
He's just
But
massive.
look at him clicking his heels.
Yeah.
It's literally it's just his technique. I'm guessing that it's awful.
Ooh.
I'm guessing the New Orleans Saints assumed that as an athlete he could learn modern offensive pass sets, the stuff that you normally get taught in high school and whatnot, but no, they scouted him. They saw those heel clicking pass sets and then still decided that was which again, to be fair to the front office, not that ultimately it doesn't matter. They deserve blame because it's been a disastrous pick. To be fair to the front office, you do expect a guy of that athleticism to be able to kick set correctly.
Right.
So the fact that you're 3 years in the NFL and you're still doing that is, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's again, mind-boggling is what I keep coming back to. It's hard to fathom.
That one's bad.
Yeah.
There was no set.
You talking about you don't start with an inside step with your back foot?
There was no set.
Not even a post with the front foot. Not even a post with the inside foot. He took his outside foot in before clicking back out.
Yeah, if you're listening on radio, you can't watch right now. It's
just really bad.
The worst pass set maybe I've ever seen.
It's the antithesis of what you're taught.
Of that level of play.
But he's just way bigger than everyone on the college level. And so, this is his highlight tape. And he's dominated.
Yeah. And it's not hard. Let's be honest. It's not hard. It's not hard to learn how to pass that. Certainly if you're an athlete like Trevor Penning is.
Look, it may be hard to win the reps. It may be hard to be good. But
that part, I'm talking about the
it's
actual...
not hard to know what it should.
Yes.
Like if he's getting beat taking actual kick steps, that's understandable.
Yeah.
But to not even be doing the base level form, not trusting. No wonder Duke Meriwether had to come out and be like, nah.
That ain't me.
We didn't teach that.
Yeah.
We didn't teach that because that's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
So nobody's going to want to hear this, but...
Turn it off, Taylor. I've seen enough.
Yeah,
I'm like Sean Payton. I've seen enough.
This is who it is. This is what it's going to be. If you're the New Orleans Saints and you've seen this, you saw the preseason game, you saw last year, you have to admit defeat and move to another option. And again, the ceiling for the option is not going to be as high, but the floor is also not going to be as low. You've got some options on this team that you can slide in, put them right there, and be okay at the position. But okay is better than what we just watched the last two segments. Yeah. You getting run over in the first play of the game when you're supposed to be all geeked up and juiced up. All right, you're on your back. Not like you get ran over like you were on Heelys. No, you get put on your back. The second play is when you were on those Heelys. It's when you were on roller skates. It's just... it is what it is.
This is interesting. I'm going to put in another video here, Taylor, at 9 a.m. Bring it up. This is Trevor Penning Senior Bowl clips. And here in the first clip, you actually see the closest thing to a legitimate kick step that we have seen since we've been doing this. And he deals with a bull. He does exactly what we want him to do. It's still not perfect, but that's an actual kick step. Heels don't clip together. You see how he keeps his feet?
Yeah.
Basically shoulder width wider the entire time. He slides that inside foot, and he uses his natural size to deal with the bull rush.
Right.
Where is that? Where is that now? I don't know. Man, he looks better there. He still gets kind of be a little bit in that second rep, but that's an actual kick step. His heels aren't clicking together.
Yeah, the one you just showed from the Senior Bowl, it's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
It's not great, but it's at least
you can see it.
Yes, and he does what you should do, honestly, when you're bigger and stronger than everybody else. All right, if you want to allow them to bull rush, that's fine, because I know I can anchor down. That's what he did. He just anchored down. His hand placement was actually bad.
And it's like, well, what are you talking about, T-Bob? We saw in the first highlight he got bull rush, he got absolutely demolished. Well, it's because his feet are bad, so his size doesn't matter. If you get punched in the chest when both your heels are together in the air, of course you're going to get toppled. It's like Andrew Whitworth. I remember working. He was kind enough one time to take me and Willie B out back in the day and work with us on some pass sets. And it was so funny to me because his technique basically is a technique that only works if you're the size of Andrew Whitworth. Like he would do this almost like, it was the same thing we're talking about, kick step, strong inside foot, you see kind of square to the line, but he would have his hands out wide and he would just like clamp you. Normally you're taught, hands on the inside, punch you to the chest, but he's so big that he could give you his chest, like Jake's saying, and then as soon as you made contact, you just locked up.
Yeah.
And you ain't go anywhere because you can't run him over. If Penning would distribute and use his weight and feet correctly, he could fight the bull rush just through his natural size, which not everybody can do. For me, that was always a problem. I was smaller than a lot of those guys out there.
Yeah, same situation for me, playing fullback, trying to block 3-4 outside linebackers who were basically defensive ends. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
There's no chance. I had to go try to stone them, freeze them just for a split second, and then shoot my hands on the inside. I couldn't do the outside hands. I wasn't big enough. I would be put on roller skates.
Also, these highlights are actually not that good overall either, the Senior Bowl, to be fair.
And And Bilbo, it doesn't matter who's rushing on him in the Senior Bowl. Like, it's somebody, that deserved to be at the Senior Bowl. And again, go back and look at the Cardinals game.
He's still getting. He's susceptible to the bowl even here.
Yeah, I mean, it was guys. Again, he was in there longer than any offensive lineman, still getting pushed around. It doesn't matter who. Like, any NFL caliber pass rusher with that technique is going to win. So the rusher doesn't matter.
The top YouTube commenter had it nailed here because this was supposed to be a video that was going to pump people up. And he said, I loved this guy until I saw this tape. Ooh. I read about it, but there it is in full view. He's great downhill in the run game, but suspect in pass protection. Yeah. Yep. I don't know. This has all been a interesting exercise in watching film more closely because that's awful. It's really awful. Very, very.
Because it's not great.
No. All right, let's just go ahead and go to break. We'll push back big deal or no big deal. We still got NFL Take These NFL Story of the Day. We got Chef Michael Johnson coming up for Munchies next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. You want to buy a new vehicle, maybe you just want to lease, okay? That's where I found myself a couple years ago. I had a number that's like, guys, this is what I can afford per month. I ended up into Camry, leasing it for 3 years, and it was wonderful for me and my family. So find the answer for you and your family. Maybe it's a big old Tundra, a luxury SUV like Sequoia really will blow you away, guys, how nice it is. Or maybe it's a minivan. Whatever it is, new, Toyota certified used vehicle, what it is at All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Go ahead and reserve your rental for your trip to go watch the Tigers play this fall, and you can do it right now, and you can get any vehicle that they have available, and they've got something for everyone. Sequoia, Sienna, if you want something bigger. If you need something better on gas mileage, they've got hybrids, they've got sedans, they've got the midsize SUVs, the 4Runner, the Highlander, they have it all. You can reserve it today, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There's nothing chill about a hot, sweaty line.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Right now, we got our chef, Michael Johnson. Put your Munchies question in the chat with hashtag Munchies. Chef, what's going on, man? Camp is rolling right along. Have we made it to Wednesday yet?
I believe today is Wednesday.
Nice. Hell yes, dude.
Yeah, hump day. Yeah.
Slowly but surely, we're getting through. How's the boys' morale feel?
Yeah, they seem good, man. Even with the heat and stuff, brother. I went out and watched them practice the other day. I was sweating so hard. I soaked my jacket through, and it's amazing those guys go out there and play in this heat, man. I mean, it was like 114 degrees with the heat index yesterday, and it's remarkable the physique that these guys have, man. I'm marveled at them every day.
How much weight we losing like per practice? I think Alondra and I were talking about that. Or somebody we were talking about, losing weight. Maybe it was Taylor.
Yeah, it was
7-8 pounds per practice.
Oh, yeah.
Some of these reports, I remember those days losing
Yeah.
that much weight per day. Like, how's it keeping up with that? Making sure everybody's getting everything they need.
I mean, they'll definitely come off the field having lost that much, but that's our purpose. You know what I mean? Like get the liquids back in, get the food back in, refuel, and so we're not wanting them to go home light. And that they if we are getting guys to maintain through training camp, we're doing a good job. And I mean, if somebody's actually gaining during training camp, that's a special person, if you ask me.
It's so funny how times change. Back in the day, in those old Jim Morris Saints practices in the heat, my old man talks about linemen losing 15 to 20 pounds.
Yeah.
And so in between two-a-days, their version of gaining it back, they would just eat like an entire box of ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just take down an entire. We're like, okay, I weigh the same now. We're good. A little more advanced with how Chef does it now. Hashtag Munchies. Best way to cook beets and beet greens.
So two different things. I love beet greens, man. They're fantastic. I like to saute them in butter and salt and pepper. Pretty simple and easy. Beets, I like to wrap them with aluminum foil, olive oil, and salt them, kind of like a baked potato, but turn it down low. Instead of turning it up to 375 or 350, I like to turn it down low, and it's called a melt. Instead of heating it intensely, you turn it down low, and you let the sugars and the beet meld together, and man, as that slow cooking just brings the sweetness out of a beet so well. It takes it from tasting like dirt to something that tastes wonderful. Yeah.
Hashtag Munchies. What's your cups of water per pound of red beans ratio?
Gosh, I got a brain fart today, buddy. I off the top of my head, I can't even come up with that number. It's more of a sight thing for me too, Jake. Like at this time, I don't really measure water. I put the beans in. I put we always soak them overnight and let them soak and absorb. And it's a sight thing for me. Like I've just been doing it for so long that I look at it and know.
I think that's like the most fun thing when you cook something regularly.
Yeah.
Is when you just finally you feel it and you don't have to measure it and you can adjust here or there based on what you're seeing.
Yeah.
But you can't let that stop you from wanting to cook something the first time, right? That's the other thing. You got to be willing to learn it.
Learning is the beauty of it. That's absolutely right. Yeah, that learning curve is where the excitement is. Yeah. Nowadays I can look at a piece of chicken in the oven and know, roundabout what temperatures it's at because, just mild things change through the cooking process. And once you've seen a piece of chicken cooked 165 degrees 1,000 times, you start to jump on things. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hashtag Munchies. What's your go-to wing sauce flavor?
Oh man, I usually just go to Buffalo Wild Wings just because, and I like their Asian zing.
I love any sort of Asian sweet heat type deal. It's the best.
Thai. I like Thai barbecue a lot on wings.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and jerk's always one too. Like I don't actually have one. I have like 4 that I go get, and I can't make a decision, so I just tear them all up.
Hashtag Munchies. Do you ever do the 5-second rule outside of work? Of course.
At the house, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a piece of bacon or something. I'm not going to let that go.
A wet food is always more questionable. If it's a dry food, eat it off the ground. Who gives a damn, right? Wet food, you're going to be a little more.
It's going to pick some. Yeah, I got a dog. So, I'm not gonna
the other day, I was eating some some freshly cooked ground beef off the floor.
All right,
and I thought that was maybe
so
a step
gross.
too far.
That's 2 steps too far.
If a pepperoni falls off the pizza, I'm picking it up.
Yeah, exactly. Pepperoni's fair. A piece of bacon, crispy little bacon, absolutely fair game. 100%.
Okay, hashtag Munchies.
Some beans.
What's
fair game? No, not really.
What's the best oil to fry proteins inside the house with low smoke?
Oh.
Yeah, so we use canola for everything. One, it has a relatively high smoke point. It's healthy. It doesn't have all the nonsense stuff in it. You can find non-GMO canola. And I like to buy Canadian canola. One of the largest exporters of canola in the world is Russia, and we stopped buying Russian canola because of the war over there. So
nice.
Actually, the Canadian canola is really good oil. But yeah, we use canola. I mean, there's other stuff you can use, but it has a relatively good smoke point. It has a nice flavor to it. It doesn't. It's funny because people actually like rice oil has a very neutral flavor. When you deep fry something in it, you taste like a French fry. You taste the potato, and people are like, "Oh, it tastes weird." Well, that's because it doesn't have the flavored oil. You're tasting a potato, right?
Yes.
So canola has a pretty has a pleasant taste to it that people come to expect. That fried oil flavor when you're deep frying something.
Oh man, sorry, I just got very ADD. I started thinking about peanut oil, and then I started thinking about how I need a cheesecloth or somewhere, whatever. Hashtag Munchies. Has Chef ever deep fried a rib roast?
So I haven't deep fried one, but what I have done is I've taken. This is elaborate. You're going to enjoy this, Steve.
Oh yeah.
So for Thanksgiving one year, I took a rib roast and rendered pork neck fat off of an Iberico pig. So Iberico pigs, they're raised on walnuts and acorns and stuff, so it's super rich fat. So I rendered the fat down off of the neck fat and heated that up to about 400 degrees, and about every 20 minutes ladled that screaming hot fat over the rib roast in the oven as it cooked at about 200 degrees.
Oh my God.
And essentially you're doing the same thing. Like it's crisping up the skin. It makes it, it turns this beautiful brown, and it's pork fat, and it melts down through it. Oh man, I'm getting hungry thinking about it. The funny part is I did it for Thanksgiving, and my son came in. He's like, "Wait, we're eating cow for Thanksgiving? We're not turkey?"
Jesus, kid.
He was so disappointed.
Get it together, kid. Come on.
Kids are a tough win, buddy.
Yeah,
you got rendered extra fatty pig neck fat here, crisping up or beef. Oh my God, that's amazing.
I was cooking that in for a household of chefs. There was 10 or 12 chefs that were there, and when you're showing off for chefs, you got to
bring it.
Oh yeah, and my son's like, "What? No turkey?"
What? Okay, so what did the chefs say though?
Oh yeah, they were like, "Oh man, chef! Oh God!" Everybody was impressed with it 'cause nobody had seen it done before. It's just something that I kind of, came up with in my mind that I had pork neck fat. I wanted to do something with it, and that rib turned out exceptional, man.
My God.
Hashtag Munchies while T-Bob finishes. What type of rice do non-Cajuns use? I guess.
Jasmine.
I was going to say jasmine feels like a go-to.
Yeah, those florals. Yeah. There's lots of different grains, brown rice for that matter. With the shell still on it. I mean, Cajuns eat white rice. It's just had the husk removed, and that husk has, nutrients in it. That's why, nutritionists and dietitians like it because it has more nutrient to it. But you're going to be hard pressed to see a Cajun eat brown rice,
I'm very much like, come on, I'm having a burrito. We're anytime I'm eating rice, I'm like, we're all in already. What am I doing? I'm gonna get brown rice to take away from the taste? Nah.
No.
We're good. Hashtag Munchies. Is there any truth to all the negative hype about seed oils?
I don't know. The subject of oil is one that you can delve into and go down a rabbit hole and stay there for a good long while.
Yeah.
By and large, seed oils have higher smoke points. They have less saturated fats and such. But the science on oils changes so often. Specifically for those other, like seeds and avocados and all, like that stuff. And even fats on pigs or animals. At some point it's a saturated fat. It's not healthy for you. But now people believe that there's acids in there that kind of like an avocado, that it has fatty acids in there that it actually breaks itself down when you consume the avocado. What is unhealthy for it is actually broken down by the acids that are in it that make it healthier for your body. So I don't know, man. I don't really mess with seed oils too terribly much, just because it's kind of they're a specific flavor. It's kind of a niche flavor. So, trying to feed that to 18 to 20 somethings, like their palates are very vivid and not used to that. So, we don't use it a whole lot here.
This goes back to McDonald's fry thing that I'm always talking about, right? They stopped cooking it in beef tallow because everybody thought it was unhealthy. They moved into vegetable oil, and now we're realizing that no, they just both have different issues. Yeah. It's not necessarily that one is better than the other.
Yeah, and honestly, now everybody, like margarine, for instance, those unnatural fats that were made for the longest is like, oh yeah, it's healthier than butter, and all of a sudden, we realize that stuff doesn't it gooks up in your body and doesn't easily move on. Again, the science changes.
Science changes, and it's like, whatever. I don't know. The base logic of like, well, gee, this is how we've been doing it forever, so maybe we've evolved, so that's like the right way. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Is beef tallow?
I'm always going to eat duck fat and pork fat.
Is beef tallow or in like pork fat, is that good to use for frying, or is the flavor too intense? I've definitely done it on some steaks, but it doesn't impart a lot of flavor onto it.
Yeah, we use beef tallow a lot for seasoning. Like seasoning cast iron, seasoning grapes, stuff like that. Because it once you clean it up and it's just pure tallow, it's really good for that. It has a rule of thumb: if it's a saturated fat and it's solid at room temperature, it's going to have a lower smoke point. But beef tallow actually tolerates a little bit more heat than a lot of other fats do.
Chef, I want to ask you this one. You always everywhere you see, Greek yogurt can be this, can be that for you. Where you fall on that? Like if you're trying to eat healthy, you're trying to find something that's, a little sweet snack. Is Greek yogurt truly the way to go?
Yeah. What I look for is the bacteria that are in them. The more bacteria, the more strands of bacteria that are in them, the healthier it is for you. It's healthier for the gut. There's lots of companies out there that are branding and boasting we're the best, but you really have to read the label. And honestly, that's with any food, man, and not just Greek yogurt. That's with anything. Educate yourself on your food. But you're looking, really good yogurts have like 7 or 8 different types of bacteria in them.
Yeah, so you heard it here first. Look, just dirty up your hands, mess that all around in the food. That's going to get all that good bacteria that you need. That's how it works, right, Chef?
That's it. Yeah.
Just throw your food on the ground. It's the most bacteria. Guys. Yeah,
that's why we eat dirt. Yeah.
Good bacteria. Chef Michael Johnson, we'll let you go. You're the man. I know y'all are in the midst of a 24/7 grind. Now that we're at the kind of halfway point, what's the message to the troops today, to your kitchen staff?
It's finish strong. Yep. A lot of that. You're only as good as your last moment and your weakest moment, right? So, a lot of folks will say we're at Wednesday, it's the downhill and start coasting, and we don't coast around here. So it's keep the pedal to the floor and keep trying. That's where consistency happens. Consistency is more important than intensity. And I would rather have a consistent product and build that consistency up than somebody who can come in and make it a really intense dish one day that's absolutely super and come in and fail me the next day.
There you go. Chef Michael Johnson, executive chef for LSU Athletics, legend, comes on here every single week to answer all of your culinary queries. Chef, thank you, friend. You have an excellent day.
Absolutely. Take care, guys. Y'all have a good day.
Yes, sir. All right. When we get back, we have Tay-Tay's NFL story of the day and a little big deal or no big deal. Keep it locked here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, I want to talk to you about a brand new partner here on OTB. And, you probably heard me talking about them, and that is Oak Park Events. Now, I've been telling you about the weddings, but what if you're looking for a corporate retreat? Maybe you and you want to set up some networking events, right? Where monthly, weekly, however often you want, you and other people you invite, you all show up, you eat, you have fellowship, you learn from one another. What if I told you that if you go to oakparkevents.com that you get a true turnkey service where the menu, the setting, there's a bunch of different rooms and everything else to choose from. Like you really can customize it to what you and your group is looking for, right? So with these networking events, if it's corporate retreats, parties, crawfish boils, check out Oak Lodge, check out Park 73. You can book a consultation today at oakparkevents.com. That's Oak, P-A-R-C, oakparkevents.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
It's an everyday thing here. We work horses in the mornings and we work on the property during the day, and without these John Deere tractors, it'd almost be impossible to keep up with the place. I've dealt with some of the other colors and stuff, and I never really got the response back that I get from John Deere, We really enjoy dealing with Sunshine. They're good people. They always check on us and make sure our equipment's running, and we love them. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back to OTB. It's time for a little big deal or no big deal.
Big deal. Ain't no big deal. Big deal.
No big deal.
Big deal. No big deal. No big deal.
No big deal.
Big deal or no big deal. Horvath cut. And then there is one. The Saints cut their fullback. Jake, only Adam Prentice remaining on the roster.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal. I thought Horvath actually had
Taylor's
the inside
nodding.
track. I thought he did. I mean, even, texting back and forth with Underhill, I thought he actually had fullback one in his sights. And so he gets released early in camp. Not a good sign for the old fullbacks. Or maybe it's a good sign that Taysom Hill's been able to handle all the things that Horvath would have done. But still, never going to not be a big deal when a fullback gets released because there's so few of us.
Never going to not be a big deal. Okay, yep. Good job.
Hey.
Yep, double negative used correctly. Okay.
Thank you.
I had to do the math myself. This is obviously no big deal. You ever heard, like, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Yeah, like you can't make a sound because I'm muting you right now talking bad about fullbacks.
If a fullback is cut, but the position doesn't actually exist anymore, does it matter? No big deal. But it does look like Adam Prentice is going to be the guy.
Yeah, they're keeping one for sure. I just thought it was going to be Horvath.
Yeah, your mother was a Horvath quarterback.
I knew that was coming at some point.
I think this is a big deal. They're going to use a fullback in the Kubiak offense. And honestly, Adam Prentice has not been great in the little opportunities that he's had in New Orleans. I really thought this was Horvath's job.
I mean, he just had that fumble last year. Was just like, come on, bro.
What other opportunity did he have?
What are we doing?
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. When you play that position, you don't get.
Yeah, I mean, when they brought in Horvath, I was like, oh, they're upgrading this position. Awesome, let's go. And just never materialized.
Shut up, Taylor. Okay, who's up next? Jake? You got one?
No, go to somebody else. I have one. It's loading right now.
Alondra?
Big deal or no big deal? A lawsuit has been brought against Milwaukee Brewers owner Mark Attanasio because the claim is he's been stealing sand from Malibu's Broad Beach and carrying it to his home for personal use on a construction project. So he's using an excavator on the beach, stealing sand, taking it to his house, and it's restricting public access to the beach while also exposing local marine life to the potentially hazardous byproducts of the heavy machinery.
Jesus Christ.
Big deal or no big deal, stealing sand, but it's like the sand is free to the people. You know what I mean? So the beach is for public use. Who's to say if I go to the beach and I take some sand in like a little jar? People do that all the time. They take sand in a little jar and they take it home.
You said excavator.
The excavator is a little much.
At that point, you've kind of privatized it, haven't you?
I guess.
If you're putting an excavator on my beach. Also, Broad Beach is like a place where there's like $15 to $20 million houses all along that way. And rich people hate when you get up in their grill.
The neighbor
no big deal just because this is the most unrelatable rich person insanity of all time. But also, I'm pretty sure that Wisconsin has great sand. When there was talk of bringing back Pontchartrain Beach a few years ago, I believe we were going to, or maybe we did, import multiple tons of Wisconsin sand. So why is the Milwaukee owner feeling so highfalutin that he's got to go all the way to Broad Beach in Malibu to bring sand back home?
Maybe they got better sand. I would imagine Malibu has better sand than Wisconsin.
I don't know if I agree.
So
have you ever seen a Wisconsin white sand?
Nope.
Exactly. So shut up. Sorry, go ahead, Alon.
Wow, that's mean.
So it's for use for a construction project. What kind of construction he's doing that requires sand, I'm not sure. But the plaintiff has suffered personal harm, including having depleted sand next to and in front of its own property, and has been exposed to gasoline oil on the beach and in the water in front of plaintiff's property.
Again, this
so
is
the
just,
neighbor's the one who brought the lawsuit.
Again, this is like rich people yelling at each other, but like,
I
to
just
be
think
fair,
this is hilarious.
I would be pissed if my neighbor had an excavator on the beach. Like, come on, bro.
100%.
What are we doing, dude?
I'd be pissed too, but like,
especially if I paid like $15 million for that house.
So his attorney claims his client's company has acted in compliance with all of its permits from the city of Malibu, and he claims he is having a damaged section of his home. Oh, here it is. Damaged section of his home's seawall fixed, and argues he has all the proper permits. So he originally bought his home for $23 million in 2007.
Oh, so this is a home on Broad Beach there.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's why they're not doing the Wisconsin sand, though. This is all his house in Malibu.
Yeah.
I thought,
Yeah.
I thought he was taking this sand back to Wisconsin as a part of some, like, I'm just going to terraform the earth because I can and I have enough money.
No, but I just think this is really funny.
I still think it would have been great for him to use local sand. You know, that's just me.
Shop local.
Shop local.
Hashtag T-Bob. Big deal or no big deal, Tyler Van Dyke wins the Wisconsin starting quarterback job after he transfers from the U. Big deal or no big deal? We talked a lot of Tyler Van Dyke over the last couple of years. Not to be confused with Dick Van Dyke, who's got the moves. We all know that.
Yeah, he had great.
Still living, by the way.
I know.
Still with us.
Still full of energy. Yeah.
Bob Dylan, too, is still alive.
Wow.
Most surprising thing I
I
learned
did
this
not
year.
know that.
I've mentioned this before. It was because he's going on tour with
I
Willie
find
Nelson.
it surprising every time you mention it, though.
Yeah.
A Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan tour. What is their
right.
combined age?
Probably 200 years old.
Damn near. Gotta be 170 something.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Because Jacob Dylan,
I'm gonna
the
go
lead singer
174.
of the Wallflowers, who's Bob's son,
Love the Wallflowers.
he's got to be in his 50s.
Willie is 91.
All right. I said
Let's
173.
see. Bob Dylan.
We're probably in the 180s.
I mean, yeah, Jacob Dylan's 54.
Bob
so
Dylan's 83.
yeah.
Okay, wait. What's 91 plus 83? Is that 174?
I'm bad at math.
What did I
Yeah,
say? 173?
it is, yeah.
I mean, guys, I'm really good at this age thing. I don't know why.
I tried to get a birthday game
Am I a
started,
genius?
but y'all shut that down.
Am I a genius? What was the birthday game?
I know. Why didn't
Pitch
we
it.
ever do that?
Yeah, I tried to do it, but
We did it once. T-Bob
Yeah.
was actually good at it.
yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, so let's do the birthday game.
Wait,
together.
so what was your big deal or no big deal, though?
He didn't have one.
Tyler Van Dyke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It turned into Dick Van Dyke, into Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
No big deal.
ADHD.
I told Duff about Tyler Van Dyke can prove to, he's got to prove it to me that he can be the quarterback that once. Did he win ACC Offensive Player of the Year? Maybe it was
Freshman of the year in the ACC. He was really like 25 and 6.
Yeah, it was a great
touchdown interception ratio. Yeah,
but he's just never gotten close to that again.
Big
he
deal
hasn't
because
been horrible though. He's not been awful. He just hasn't been as good as that. He was like 10-5 the next year, and then like 19-11.
See, I think
after
that's
that.
pretty bad nowadays. I
mean,
kind of think that maybe is horrible now.
It's not. There's worse in the country. It's just not what he did his freshman year.
Big deal
Not
because
elite, no.
they want to throw the ball, and he threw the ball a lot in Miami.
Very rare,
no
yeah.
big deal because he's just not that good.
I think I agree. It's hard to back him up now. I do think there's more there than Miami got out of him the last 2 years. We'll see if Phil Longo can get it out. God, Jacob Dylan's 54. That made me feel old for some reason.
How old?
54. The
I feel like
Wallflowers
that's still
don't feel
young.
like. I mean,
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
not old, but I didn't know Jacob Dylan was that old.
Yeah. Love the Wallflowers.
I do want to remind y'all to get Gordon and get it done. Go to getgordon.com/billboard if you want to design your own Gordon McKernan billboard. If you get chosen, you win prizes. You get to see your work all over the state. It's a lot of fun for everybody involved. You know what's not so fun? Getting in an accident. And so when it happens to you, you go to getgordon.com. You call 225-888-8888. On the website, you can fill out your free console there, or you just call them up if you want, like I said. And then you just follow them on social media, where you can see a lot of great content with a lot of your favorite athletes, members of the G team, as Gordon McKernan continues to be a pillar of LSU's NIL initiatives, making sure that these young athletes are able to benefit off of their talents and, bring you some fun along the way. Get Gordon, get it done today. Time for Tay-Tay, unless anybody else says a big deal, no big deal. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
I was just going to say Ryan Day named preseason head coach of the year. Big deal or no big deal?
I've never heard of a preseason head coach of the year award. That's no big deal to me.
Yeah.
Gonna be a big year for old bull.
Henry, Naz Reid on the cover of Slam magazine. Big deal or no big deal?
Big deal. Okay, Naz Reid is who Ben Simmons wishes he was. And, I'm a basketball guy. When I was talking about my chicken tendies earlier, I went back and looked at the chat, and everybody was like, this guy's really good at not talking about sports. I know my basketball, and Naz Reid is, my favorite player ever. And I feel like as LSU people, we forget how popular he is, in the NBA now.
Yeah.
He just won Sixth Man of the Year.
Let's go.
There's not a single person who doesn't like Naz Reid in the NBA, and there's not a single team who wouldn't want him. And
yet LSU fans don't really give him the love.
Never. But they posted the silhouette of who it was with the Timberwolves colors, and they were like, who's on Slam magazine?
Who's that Pokemon?
Right. And I was like, oh my God, is that Naz Reid? And then it came out, and I got the poster for my wall. I got the gold, the limited edition Slam magazine, because this is a big deal. We don't get LSU men's basketball players, let me say, on the cover of magazines all the time. So big deal. I love Naz Reid.
It's obviously not a big deal, but I'm very happy for you, Henry. I'm very, very happy for you. You had to be the most excited person to see that silhouette. Shout out Naz Reid. All right, when we get back, we'll do Tay-Tay's NFL Story of the Day, and then we'll do a little Ask the Bench. Keep it locked here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to ColemanRoof.com. Coleman Roofing and Construction is the company. Okay? The most complete, the most reliable, the most respected roofing company in the state. Because they do work all over the state. They do any size project, commercial, residential. They do any type of roof. They have certified installers for all the major brands. And they do your interior construction as well. If you have water damage, tree falls, whatever the case may be, they fix the insides and they fix the roof. Coleman Roofing and Construction, okay? And look, if you go on the website, ColemanRoof.com, you can see results from past satisfied customers. Just know they are dedicated to ensuring that the job gets done correctly all the way through cleanup, leaving no stone unturned, making sure you're satisfied. ColemanRoof.com.
Go to their website to find that contact information throughout the state of Louisiana. It's commercial, it's residential, it is your one-stop shop. Like T-Bob always tells you, don't forget about the construction part of Coleman Roofing. Go to the website today, ColemanRoof.com.
Get the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge app powered by Bayou Ford and tap the microphone icon to send us your thoughts in an audio message. Your message could be played on air during Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob, The Hunt Palmer Show, and after further review with Matt Moscone.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks
have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Sometimes I want to take you down. Sometimes I want to get you low. Brush your hair back from your eyes. Take you down, let the river flow.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, it's time for a little Tay-Tay interval story.
It's time for Tay-Tay's NFL Story of the Day. Your daily dose of NFL news from Taylor Sharp.
Yes, Taylor.
I first want to give a little bit of update. We talked about this yesterday. J.J. McCarthy is, in fact, out for the year with that torn meniscus. He had surgery. Turns out it was a complete repair. He will miss all of 2025. So that's a bummer for Vikings fans. CBS Sports put out...
Maybe not the worst thing, though, in a weird way. I mean, you give McCarthy a year to
because he was going to be thrown in there before.
Yeah, now he gets to adjust to being a pro a bit more, but that sucks still.
Justin Jefferson's probably in a bad mood this morning.
Yeah, I would think that is probably the case.
CBS Sports put out an article ranking the top 10 offensive weapons is what they called it. So they chose the top 2 receivers and the team's starting running back. I'll just run through the top 5 real quick because I think there's
racial slurs, homophobia. Oh, I thought you said offensive weapons, offense, like football. Okay, go ahead.
Anyways, we'll just run through the top 5 here real quick because I think there's an obvious omission. Number 5, we got the Cincinnati Bengals, obviously Jamar and T. Higgins, and then Zach Moss at running back. At number 4, they have the Los Angeles Rams, Kupp and Nakua on the outside with Kyren Williams in the backfield. I think that's great at number 4. At 3, you have the Dolphins. You got Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They got Devon Achane. You could honestly switch that with Raheem Mostert. It would still be good. Yeah. I think he's a little overrated coming into the season.
You think who is?
Devon Achane coming into the season. You got the San Francisco. No, I mean, he's great. I just don't know if he can do it for a whole season and that amount of carries. Number 2, you got the 49ers. Brandon Ayuk, if he's there. Yeah. He was at practice yesterday for the first time. With Debo and then Christian McCaffrey. And then number 1, they have the Philadelphia Eagles. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith with Saquon Barkley. Where is the Houston Texans and why are they not in the top 5? For what it's worth, they are 7 on this list. But Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
I mean, they should be in the top 3 easily.
Yeah, that's I don't disagree. So they didn't put them in the top 10?
They're at 7.
Oh, okay.
But, I mean, they're behind... I mean...
What do they got? The Saints are like 6?
The Saints, believe it or not, along with my Dallas Cowboys, did not make this list. Who would have thought that would happen? No, they have
Raheem?
They have the Bucks at 6 with Evans and Godwin, which is fine. But like Rashad White, his numbers looked okay, but like he was inefficient last year, and they still have them ranked above the Texans. Texans got to be a lot higher on this list.
All right. Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cole Kurzlat, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, Blue Moon, Lat Sky, Citrus Sweet. Ask the Bench, what do you have to do to set up a 1v1 pass rush between T-Bob and Big Fave?
Call the paramedics.
I ain't about to get. Yeah, I ain't
that's
about
all
to
you
get
hear
out of
from
here
no
and try to pass
Fave.
block. Ask the Bench, is LSU's defense capable of being a top 50 defense talent-wise? Again, my goal is top 40. That's what he did at Mizzou. Why shouldn't you be able to do that at LSU? You know, you're playing the same. You're both playing in the SEC. You're just gonna tell me that like LSU's so down bad that the Mizzou talent's just markedly better, not even equal? No, be top 40.
Yep.
Daniel says, I have a feeling off air T-Bob hates the Saints. All this posy energy
He does
just for the
not.
show.
Nope.
He does.
Easily the biggest Saints fan on the show.
I don't
Easily.
live and
question.
die.
Easily.
I don't live and die with the Saints. I do like LSU.
Maybe the biggest Saints fan in the building.
I'm pretty ambivalent.
I mean, Matt's pretty big.
The NFL, but you know, it's the team that we cover. As the Bench, does Jake have school pictures today? Ask the Bench, what fall dish are you ready to eat?
Good old pot roast.
You hear something funny?
Yeah.
I do have headshots later.
Oh, yeah. Busted. You do have school pictures today.
I got work pictures.
Ask the Bench, are y'all cooking up any conference futures?
Well, I've convinced myself to bet on Texas State to win Sun Belt.
Sun Belt?
Yeah.
Ooh, let's go.
They're plus 400.
Let's go full sicko mode and let's bet the group of 5.
Yeah.
Conferences.
That's what I was gonna
We'll all
do.
agree on one team and we can all put it so we can all root for them.
I'm down.
Texas State in the Sun Belt. I'll go South Florida in the AAC.
I don't know if I want to ride with you on South Florida, dog. What about Memphis?
I want good odds too.
What about Memphis? What about Tulane? Sunbrawl.
I want good odds. I want some juice. Texas State's going to give me that too.
Coming up tomorrow. More OTB. See you then.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Aggitemp Baton Rouge, AggitempBR.com, AggitempBR.com. You go to Aggitemp today, you get that service to the highest degree because it's time to take control of your comfort zone, guys. And that customer service is going to blow you away. That's right. I'm sorry, my brain just shut down. You know what doesn't shut down? Aggitemp. Yes, about the Star Club membership. It's a flat fee. They stay on top of everything for you. Make sure your systems are good to go. You avoid any catastrophic issues down the road. Maybe you want a whole home generator, okay, for storm season. Well, they got you. Right, they'll come out to your home, let you know exactly how it works. Free estimate. Go check them out today. Aggitemp Baton Rouge, AggitempBR.com.
Schedule your appointment online today as well. Know exactly who is coming into your home. You know you're going to get service to the highest degree. That's what you get every time from Aggitemp, AggitempBR.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it.
Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center.